They get an interim recruitment operation. They've got a lot of loan players, some loan players starting, a lot more, some more on the bench, like 5 or 6 in total today. So they're just kind of in a state of flux. Now they can rise above that by winning today and getting themselves back in the hunt. But I just look at Celtic. If they lose today, I think they're just hanging on by a thread right now. And if Rangers win this game, like Andy, I struggle to see how Celtic can raise themselves to go on a long winning run that they haven't experienced so far this season, while simultaneously hoping that Motherwell, Rangers and Hearts kind of fall in a heap. All of those things are not going to happen.
Tom, the scenario that Pat Nevin painted there, where if either Celtic or Rangers, if they do drop away and you've got 4 or 5 games to go and they're clearly not going to win the league, but they have games to come that could be decisive in terms of whether either their City opponents or Hearts win the title. Let's be honest, either Celtic or Rangers would much rather Hearts win the title than their rivals from across the river.
Yeah, totally.
It would be an interesting scenario, wouldn't it?
What are you suggesting, Richard?
I'm just saying that it would be an interesting scenario, and inviting you to offer your thoughts.
What the Hibs do in that scenario?
yeah, exactly. Everything about this season has been interesting. Like everything about it. Is it beyond the realms of possibility that Celtic could finish 4th?
They could.
Is it beyond the realms of possibility that Celtic could finish 1st?
Yes, they could.
The realms of possibility that Motherwell could win the league.
No. You don't think so?
Not. Motherwell are in a great position. They're coming on the heels.
Motherwell are in.
And they've got big games to play.
Motherwell are the best league in the best defence in the league. They're playing the best football in the league. You could argue that they've got the best manager in the league. They've got unbelievable momentum. 1 point behind Celtic, 3 points behind Rangers, having played the same number of games as Rangers. So Motherwell are right there. They are right there. They don't know what it is to concede a goal anymore, Motherwell. They've forgotten the sensation.
Do you not feel, given there are 3 teams above them, and as things stand, they're 10 points off the pace, albeit with a game in hand, they're potentially going to have to win 9, 10 games.
But
to actually
the difference, though, Richard, is that they have to play some of these teams, and
but they do, but they still have to win those games.
They have to win those games, absolutely.
They're the outsiders. There's no question
that could turn very quickly to be 2 or 3 points.
Yeah. Of the 4, obviously, they're the outsiders. But they've an awful lot of work to do. But they have an awful lot of work done, and I just think they add to the sensation that this season is. They could. I mean, they're 10 points behind Hearts. Do I think they can eat into that? I don't think they can. Just think it's too much. Could Motherwell finish 2nd? Absolutely, Motherwell could finish 2nd.
I can't believe you just brought that up, Tom, and I've just received a wave over my right shoulder for Jens Bertolascu.
Checking out his future
just
club.
Just as well you never asked me my comments.
He has been, look, we've all said it, he's been brilliant. The team were very good again yesterday. But about today, that's what adds another layer to the intrigue today. It's because of because of Motherwell and because of Hearts. Because the traditional big 2 are now feeling the heat from other clubs, and it's absolutely compelling.
Compelling is an absolutely accurate word, and it will continue. You just feel it will continue to be so. Right, Martin O'Neill celebrating his 74th birthday. He is at Ibrox along with his team. Rangers will be hoping he leaves having had a much less happy day than he would want to. Andy Halliday, in terms of the head-to-heads out there, the key players on the pitch, the areas on the pitch, what are you particularly looking at for this one?
I think there's a few. I think the big one obviously is Dane Murray being introduced into the Celtic backline, having to deal with a direct opponent with Rangers playing the 2 strikers and Ryan Nadiri and Yusuf Chamiti, 2 boys that are 6'5+ plus. have plenty of pace, plenty of athleticism, so I think that's a big one. And then I think for a Celtic's point of view, I think Maeda up against Dujon Sterling, given, yes, no, he's done pretty well. Both players have done really well in this fixture, but Dujon Sterling's not trained for the last 3 weeks. He's obviously shot a match sharpness himself, so I think that is an area for both sides that I think they'll be looking to try and exploit.
Yeah, Pat Bonner.
I was going to say to you, Richard, you were talking about Martin O'Neill being 74 today. Well, there's a man sitting beside me today is 57, Tom English. On the same birthday
as Martin O'Neill.
Yes, we're a pair of footballing legends. Same birthday.
There you go.
Right, Pat, in terms of the balance of the two sides, the relative strengths in certain areas, what are you looking at this afternoon?
Yeah, well, Celtic have got that bit of pace up front, which I think will be an asset to them up against this back four. We're never sure what Fernandes does in the game. He's, last time I watched him, he started off the game so slack. It was incredible, but then he came into a game. I fear for Celtic's midfield a little bit. They could be, it depends how Rangers set up in there. Raskin, Chukwueze, and if they put Mikey Moore in, maybe in that sort of kind of number 10 position. It depends what they do. But Oxlade-Chamberlain, we talked already about him. Negrin will be running on, trying to get him. I don't think Negrin's brilliant on the ball in the middle of the pitch. He'll work away, he'll do what is asked of him, but he's not a creative player as such. McGregor's the one. How's Rangers deal with McGregor? If they nullify him, then Celtic could be overrun in that area, and then that becomes a real problem, because you also have the two up front for Rangers who are big and strong. I haven't seen Nadri playing that much, so I don't know how it'll go, but I think Rangers are the favourites. Celtic got to hang in. They've got to make sure that they don't lose anything early on to get the crowd sort of G'd up inside the state. If they can nick something, then the crowd might turn the other way, and that's how you do it. But you've got to step out there with confidence that you can get on the ball, pass it, and do what they're good at, but hang in there when you don't have the ball.
I would imagine, Pat Bonner, as much as anything, well, yes, the players will need the skill, they will need the technical ability, they will need to hit the heights in that respect. Is this, this particular fixture as much a mental challenge as anything else? Always is,
and that's what I keep saying. You come into this fixture, and I think the top teams, the really top players, will love this type of atmosphere. I'm not saying I was a top player, but I used to love coming here, and you would walk down to the Rangers end, and you would turn around and give them a smile, and they would be giving you dog's abuse as normal, and that would be the same for any goalkeeper, Rangers goalkeeper going to the Celtic end. But you almost have to believe in yourself that you can go out there and do it, and that mentality before the game, in the dressing room, all of that comes with you, and then you've got to get your first touch right. You've got to get out there and hope that the first couple of things you do in the game is positive, and that then will allow you just to go and flow within the game, and that. So it is a mentality. You've got to handle this pressure, but that's what your Rangers and Celtic play for. You come into these atmospheres. If you can't handle it, you shouldn't be at the club.
Tom, there's a big tifo being unfurled, I gather. Can you let us know what that says, or what it represents?
Rangers make Glasgow. Saw that bit.
Right. I was told that you might be in a position to explain, because I hadn't seen the pictures of it, so I wasn't sure.
No, it's massive. I mean, it's covering the entire length and breadth of the Copeland Road stand. It's what does it say at the end there? I have to check this before make sure that it's clean.
Yeah.
All you see is something.
There's a part that says "Cheers for the birthday gift." I don't know if that's for you, Tom.
No, it is. It's eye-catching. I'm still trying to make out the various bits to it. There are bits to it.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it's enormous. It's absolutely enormous.
Look, the players will be out shortly. We'll be handing over to the commentary team, Andy Halliday, just before we do so. I mean, this must be the moment when you're down there ahead of any game, but particularly a game that it could be absolutely pivotal for the season. You're just getting yourselves ready, maybe just about to leave the dressing room, as a player. I was going to say it maybe doesn't get any better than that, but perhaps for some players it's almost the worst feeling in the world, is it?
I think there's certainly an element of both. I think Pat will tell you the hardest part is probably the full week building up to it, when you've got all the police coming to give you the rundown and investigations at the training ground. You're getting people stopping you in the streets if you're going for a coffee or dinner or food shopping, and then certainly the butterflies will be in the player's stomach when they're in the tunnel. What is not only a massive fixture, but I mean this fixture in isolation, what it means to the course of this season for both clubs. It's an incredible fixture, and if you don't have these butterflies in your stomach, you're definitely in the wrong sport for me, because I always say players that play for Rangers and Celtic, they're under so much scrutiny, so much pressure, but it's not till you actually leave the football clubs that you realise how much you miss playing under that pressure. Sometimes you can bring the best out of you. I think it's brought the best out of a lot of players in this fixture, and I think today Celtic will come and try and have a sustained period of pressure and sustained control possession towards the start. I think Rangers have to try and negate that and be in the front foot. The one thing's for sure, I think we're going to be in for a cracker.
Yeah, I think we're all anticipating that. We're on till 3 o'clock. It'll be off the ball between 3 and 5. The highlights on Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. And the week ahead, the SPFL roundup, all the action from the Championship Leagues 1 and 2 online. Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Daily podcast is published. Subscribe to that wherever you get your podcast. There are 2 sports sounds to listen out for. Tuesday night, live commentary, Dundee United against St Mirren. Wednesday night, live commentary, Aberdeen against Celtic. Tuesday on the telly, it's the SWNT, the Scottish Nationals team, women's team, in action against Luxembourg. That's live in BBC Scotland. And next Friday, we kick off our Scottish Cup coverage. Quarter-final weekend, of course. That'll be live on BBC Scotland. Falkirk against Dundee United. Coming up now, live commentary from Ibrox, from our commentary team of Andy Halliday, Pat Nevin and Al Lamont.
Welcome to Ibrox in a huge afternoon in the Scottish Premiership title race. It's second against third. Not something we usually be saying about an Old Firm derby at the start of March. Rangers trail leaders Hearts by 7 points, with Celtic a further 2 points back. So this feels like a game neither side can really afford to lose. But a draw is little use to either, with games running out to reduce the deficit at the top. It's a grey day in the south side of Glasgow, although I'm happy to say that the worst of the rain seems to have abated, and the teams are in the tunnel, and the noise in Ibrox is about to be ratcheted up a couple of notches as the two teams make their way onto the Ibrox surface. Out they come, Rangers in their blue training tops with the white shorts and black and red socks. Celtic already kitted out for the game, the green and white hoops, white shorts, white socks, and they line up either side of the halfway line with the orchestrated flares going off round about the pitch. The legal ones, I hasten to add, and the match official John Beaton right on the halfway line as the two teams will shake hands, the obligatory handshake. I'm not sure how much they really want to go through this process. Let me run you through the two starting 11s just before kick-off. It's Butland in goal for Rangers, Sterling, Suter, Fernandes and Romans, Chukwani and Raskin in the centre of midfield, Skol-Olsen and Moore on the flanks, with Naderi and Chermiti up front for Celtic. It's Sinisalo in goal. The back four, Araujo, Murray, Scales and Tierney. In midfield, Nugren, McGregor and Oxlade-Chamberlain, Yang and Maida providing the width, and Adamu up front for the visitors. Martin O'Neill, of course, in charge of Celtic on his 74th birthday. What a birthday gift it would be for him if they could emerge with all 3 points. He does have a good record here, it has to be said. This is his 26th game overall against Rangers. He hasn't managed against any other side more often, and on his previous trips to Ibrox, he's won more often than he's lost. Won 5, drawn 1 and lost 4. Let's see how this one pans out. Danny Rule, of course, victorious on his visit to Celtic Park last time out. A 3-1 victory for Rangers really brought them back into the title race, and they are very much in it now. What will be the outcome of this one? It's so difficult to second guess. There's so much to play for. Celtic in their huddle. Some last words from their captain, Callum McGregor. Always looks like he's firing them up. And they break out of that now as Sinisalo makes his way back to the goal, and he urges the Celtic fans across there in that far corner, about 2,500 of them, to roar their side on. Obviously outnumbered here at Ibrox this afternoon. The rest of the stadium is all red, white and blue, and it will be Rangers to get us underway. They will go from right to left in this first period as we look at it from our position on the gantry in the main stand. Nico Raskan, the little Belgian midfielder, will be the man to kick us off. And we're underway as the ball goes back to Jack Butland, who immediately fires it out to the right-hand side, straight out of play as he looked for Andreas Skov-Olsen. And Celtic will have the early throw-in to be taken by Kieran Tierney, vastly experienced in this fixture, and that could be important with some inexperienced players round about him. Down the line he goes, Kieran Tierney long, Suter rises above Adamu, then Fernandez wins it up towards the halfway line, and Naderi spins away from McGregor. Chermiti forces it out to Scholes and right hand side, just inside the Celtic half, swept out to the left hand side here. Chance early on for Chukwani to get it into the box. He's at the byline, cuts it by, but a safe hands from Viliama Sinisalo, and that in the 45th second of the match, Pat Evan. An early clutch of the ball there from Sinisalo. That's important for him.
Yeah, I absolutely love getting that ball in his hands there. Really good movement there from back to front, right hand side to left hand side for Rangers. They look as if they're up for it. They want to put a little bit of pressure, push Celtic back as much as they possibly can, but typical Old Firm game, lumped up, just got on with the game.
Tierney does do that exactly right on the head of Sean Suter, who's fouled by Junior Adamu, who's one of 3 Celtic players in the starting 11 making his Old Firm debut, along with Oxlade, Chamberlain and Murray. 4 first-timers in the Rangers side in the shape of Romans, Chukwani, Skov-Olsen and Naderi. Let's see who enjoys it most as Jack Butland prepares to take this free kick just outside his own penalty area, clad all in orange. He lofts it well over the halfway line. Scales his first to it ahead of Naderi. Fernandez knocks it down. It's a poor ball though. Yang tries to play it forward for Adamu. Maida will pick up the loose ball. Cross goes John Suter just at the edge of his own penalty area, under a bit of pressure here, and he plays it off Maida, and it's out I think for a throw-in right down near the corner flag. John Beaton's pointed for a goal kick. In fact, Andy Halliday, you're taking the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was a positive start for Rangers. A great ball for Nico Raskin to unleash Chukwani down the left-hand side. He tries to stand it up into the box, and you've got to say, from Sinisalo's point of view, I think he'll be delighted to get that early first touch and make a good one at that.
Goal kick then for Rangers. Jack Butland prepares to strike this one again long over the halfway line. Up towards Chermiti, he wins it well above Murray, nodded down by Naderi, on by Romans, then Scales gets his head to it. Romans wins it infield for Raskan, pushes it forwards. Mikey Moore trying to get the better of Murray, but it comes back to Araujo, deep in his own territory, plays it down the right hand side. Chukwani heads it forward once more. There's Yang, then McGregor. The ball's spending an awful lot of time in the air in these early stages. Chukwani brings a bit of control to the game, out to the left hand side for Moore, almost at the byline, tracked by Araujo. Can he get the better of him? A little winger on loan from Spurs lets Romans take over, still deep in Celtic territory. Chukwani now back for Moore. Moore low into the box, but it's cut out by McGregor at the edge of his own area. Tries to get away from Raskan, who sticks to his task. Olsen makes the challenge, but Raskan's actually been penalised for a little bit of a tug on Callum McGregor. 3 minutes in here at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Do you know what? It's great to watch what Rangers are doing just now. It's not actually a 4-4-2 all the time. I mean, both the strikers, Naderi sometimes goes off a little bit, Chermiti's sometimes further up, but a lot of the time what will happen, both of them will be central, and then you'll get Moore coming in from the left hand side almost as a 10. This gives Romans a chance to come up and almost play the left winger. Very common for fullbacks to play much higher up. At the start of this game, the Rangers fullback was pushing further forward. It's actually Romans and not Dujon Sterling.
Yeah, he's certainly capable of doing that, Romans, as is Sterling on the other flank. It's Sterling getting his head to it. Comes back to Scholl-Olsen. Well challenged there on the left-hand side by Tierney. It's out for a throw-in on that far side. Andy, you were concerned, I think, a little bit about Rangers playing a central 2 in midfield against the 3 of Celtic.
Yeah, I think already out of possession you can see Ryan Nadiri just dropping ever so slightly on Callum McGregor. It'll be interesting to see over the next period if that's almost a man marking job that Danny Rule deployed at Hampden and at Celtic Park in the reverse fixtures. But like Pat says there, you can see Mikey Moore starting to roll inside in possession. Romans having that freedom to attack down that left hand side. So it's been a good start for both teams so far. It's just starting to calm down.
Throw in taken by Kieran Tierney, but it's robbed by Raskin. Raskin out to Chermiti, back into Raskin, sweeps it forward. Maybe a chance here for Ryan Adair. He's just going a little bit out to the left hand side. Quickly back to Moore inside the penalty. He curls one that was potentially heading on target. Murray got his head to it. Out to Scholl-Olsen, right hand side. Picks up possession, moves away from Maida, but allows Tierney to sweep it away. But that was well hit by Mikey Moore. Dean Murray did well to get in the way. Still 0-0, 5 minutes in. Here's Suter. Forward for Naderi. Romans is up in an advanced area once more. He slips it through to him. Romans, is he going to catch that? He can. But it's good covering from Murray behind for the first corner of the game to Rangers.
It's been a really positive start for Rangers. Nico Raskin again, Robin Oxlade-Chamberlain in the centre circle, plays a lovely little give and go with Chermiti, unleashes Nadiri down that left hand side, cuts it back to Mikey Moore, great strike, and Rangers hunting packs, win the ball back straight away. And how many times have we seen Rangers be dangerous for these situations, Alistair? Celtic's first corner they have to defend against Rangers.
Mikey Moore to take, left hand side, plenty of Rangers bodies inside that penalty area. What are they going to operate here? It's a short corner to Scholes, and back to Moore, changes the angle, glances on to Raskin, saved and swept away by Nugren. The offside flag is up against Nico Raskin in the end, but a clever corner again taken by Rangers, who do have the set piece coach now in Scott Fry, and it was one that almost came off Andy Halliday.
It was, do you know what, Alistair, it was excellent defending by Celtic. As soon as the corner was played short, it was set back to Mikey Moore. Celtic's backline did ever so well to rush up to the edge of the box and have Nico Raskin offside. And yes, it's offside, but again, brilliant for Sinisalo to get an early save on board. They started the game well over 6 minutes, but you've got to say overall it's been a great start for Rangers.
Do you know what's really smart about that? We all expected that ball to go in, didn't we? Because of the physicality of Rangers. But it was really good done. They've got themselves in a good position there. What I'm really impressed with Rangers so far this season, start of this game, every pass is a forward pass. Every single pass is fast and it's forward.
Yeah, it's a free kick to Rangers. Nico Raskin making the point to the referee, John Beaton, that the advantage might well have been played there because Chukwani had picked up Araujo, had gone right through the back of Mikey Moore, who's still on the ground. An opportunity to play the advantage there for you, Andy?
I think the frustrations are valid, but I think it's the fact it's a head knock, I believe, for Mikey Moore. So I think John Beaton does do the right thing by stopping the game. Chukwani as well has looked really dangerous so far. You know, you always thought with the setup for Rangers today, Raskin and Chukwani would both be really disciplined, just been the two in there, but we've already seen Chukwani 2-3 times break into the box, and that was him breaking down the left hand side there again.
The boos you heard there because John Beaton just had a word with Julian Araujo rather than showing him the yellow card. The free kick's taken by Fernandez. It's Araujo and Romans who contest it. Breaks for McGregor, who's deep in his own half, and it's won back by Rangers. It's Romans into the penalty area. He comes, cuts it back for Moore. Can he get the shot off here? Plays it to Sterling instead. Sterling out to Scholl-Olsen, right hand side of the box. Scales is out to meet him, gets it back into the area. Chermiti, goal! What a goal from Youssef Chermiti to open the scoring for Rangers. It's Scott McTominay-esque. The overhead kick from Chermiti. Where did he pull that from? What a goal to put Rangers in front in the early stages here. It's Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
I can't believe what I've just watched. Think of Scott McTominay against Denmark. Scott Olsen dinks a lovely ball with his right foot into the box. Youssef Chermiti gets about 9 foot above ground, overhead kick by Sinisalo. What a goal, what a start for Rangers.
I mean, you cannot describe it any other way without using the words Scott and McTominay. It came over from the right hand side, and you know what he's going to try there because he's up very, very early. But the pace in which he catches it, he has leathered it into the corner. What a goal from Rangers. They have been the better side, and the lift it's going to give them and the negativity towards Celtic, who have hardly been over the halfway line in the last 5 minutes.
Youssef Chermiti with an 8th goal of the season. I think we can say with some certainty that that was the best of the lot so far. He's taken a while to get the Rangers fans to warm to him. The couple of goals he scored at Celtic Park certainly helped with that, but that was exceptional from the striker. Bought for £8 million in the summer, and people were questioning the value of that, but if we can produce a few more like that, they won't be questioning it anymore. Rangers have conceded the corner though. Celtic look to respond. 9.5 minutes played at Ibrox. Rangers leading by a goal to 0.
Well, Alistair, Pat was talking about every pass Rangers have played has been forward. Cal McGregor wins the ball back in the defensive position for Celtic, and instead of just relieving the pressure and putting it down the line, he gives a horrible ball into Julian Araujo, and poor Romas is on him, steals it, and within 20 seconds Rangers get their opening goal.
Corner kick then on the left hand side. Celtic's first. Can they respond immediately to that setback? And it comes from the left to the near post, and it's behind, I think, for another corner. Yep, Celtic will have a second go at it over there as they look to bite back in this huge contest. It's the Rangers fans though who are enjoying the opening 10 minutes after that Youssef Chermiti scissor kick from about 8 yards out. Great athleticism and acrobatics. But here comes Celtic again with the corner. Near post ball once more. Skålsson gets something on it. Liam Scales hit the deck, but the game keeps going as Nygren tries to make something of it. Back out to the right hand side. It goes. Is it a free kick there? No. John Beaton allows play to continue, and Skålsson picks up coming down that right hand side. Plays it infield. Chermiti will have to check. In fact, he leaves it for Chukwani, and Rangers bursting forward, looking to add to their tally. It's Chukwani into Mikey Moore, edge of the box. Just good footwork to get away from Yang. Now he's at the byline, stands it up. It's over the back post, and it's just wide at the back post. Sent wide by Skålsson in the end, as Sinisalo was backpedaling furiously. But Rangers just unable to force that on target from the narrow angle. 11 minutes in, it's Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
It's the second time within 11 minutes that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's been robbed of possession, and the pace that Rangers attack to get from one end to the other in the matter of seconds. It's a great ball for Chukwani to find Mikey Moore in the pocket, and it's a lovely half turn, great feet to dive into the box. Again, that stand up cross, but the angle was just a little bit too tight. Rangers have started this game ever so well.
Yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain's barely get into the game so far, has he? But Rangers have been impressive as Fernandez wins the header. And then Naderi leaves it to Mikey Moore left hand side. Naderi now takes over. Araujo with the interception, but he won't be able to keep it in play. Rangers have the throw in deep in Celtic's half, just about 10 yards from the corner flag on this left hand side. Romans will come forward and take it. But Celtic haven't really got up to the pace of the game as yet, as Romans has it now. Plays it infield. It's a lovely ball for Mikey Moore. I'm not sure how it got through there. Mikey Moore off Callum McGregor. Rangers have another corner. Celtic need to wake up and fast, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, Rangers have been superb. Just saying everything positive. The belief in this group of players is extraordinary at the moment. And you just get a feeling with this Rangers team at this ground, one's not enough. If they get another one, two's not enough. They have got such positivity and such belief in themselves just now. And Celtic are really creaking.
Here they are. There's Mikey Moore with the corner kick from the left-hand side here. This one comes right into the near post and onto the roof of the net in the end, almost trying to catch Sinisalo out. Direct from the corner, doesn't quite come off for Mikey Moore. 12.5 minutes in, Rangers leading by a goal to 0. A special goal from Youssef Chermiti. You're listening to BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live's coverage of Rangers against Celtic, this monumental game in Glasgow, taking on perhaps even more significance than usual in terms of their position in the title race. Hearts fans listening out for, well, I guess they're probably looking for a draw from this one. Celtic need to buck their ideas up. Plenty of time to go though, just 13 minutes in, as Tierney has it, goes back the way to Liam Scales, midway inside his own half. Nygren comes short and picks up possession on the halfway line, but he has to check back to Tierney. Tierney back into Scales. Scales plays it square to Dane Murray. Murray out to Araujo here. Popped up with that late winner at Rugby Park, so vital for his side. Chukwani now picks up possession though. And Raskan forward to Moore, quickly closed down by Araujo, now to play for a Rangers throw-in on the halfway line on the left-hand side. 13 and a half minutes played. Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
One of the things you could say, Alistair, is that Celtic style is more measured. Andy was talking about it earlier on, that they pass the ball well, they hold the ball well. There's not been an opportunity to do that yet, but they will keep on playing that way. Rangers playing at this place, I can't imagine they could keep that going for 90 minutes. Although I remember saying that against Hearts the other week, and they managed to do it. But that's what Danny Rowe's telling me to do, isn't it? He's telling me, keep it up, keep that pace up. Try and put this game to bed almost this early.
Celtic won a free kick just inside their own half to be taken by Callum McGregor, who tries to arrow it over the top for Dyson Maeda. Dujon Sterling's allowed him to get wrong side, but does get his head to it, the full-back, and then manages to complete the clearance up towards Naderi. He's just caught Scales as he went to go for it. Well, John Beaton's pointing for a throw-in. I thought Scales was impeded there as he played it, but the referee says no, it's a throw-in to Rangers just inside their own half, right-hand side, as we approach the quarter-hour mark. Plenty of football coming up here this afternoon. Some big games in the English Premier League for the 5 Live listeners. Not least Man United Crystal Palace at 2 o'clock, followed by Arsenal against Chelsea at the top of the table. 4. Back to Sinisalo inside the 6-yard box, launches it over the halfway line. Adamu can't get there, but Yang might latch on here. Cuts inside Suter. Here's Yang approaching the Rangers box. It's Maeda now out to the left-hand side, cuts it back. Raskan's in the way and picks up possession. Celtic's attack comes to nothing, but that was almost promising for a moment there, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, Maeda's touch wasn't the best there. He had to have the perfect touch to get in towards goal. It went a little bit too wide, but maybe first or maybe the second time Celtic have got the ball where they want it, a little bit of control. And maybe Maeda's looking the most dangerous at the moment because he keeps on going behind that defence, and we all know he's
Scales looking for Adamu just beyond them though. Butland comes off his line and grabs that one. Celtic do seem to be playing that ball just in behind the Rangers defence, trying to get them turned, but so far Rangers have kept the clean sheet. Just a quarter of an hour played though. 1-0 they lead. Yusuf Chermiti with an 8th goal this season. All of his goals have come in the Premiership as Chukwani picks up possession. Adamu trying to come back at him, cuts across him and Nygren, and keeps possession. Looks like he's been a promising signing, Chukwani, in the January window. Rangers did a fair bit of business as they look to try and push for the title. Played forward to another January signing in Naderi, and now Skol Olsen, who's on loan. It's Raskan now, right-hand side for Rangers. Plays it back the way to Dujon Sterling. Now Chukwani. Chukwani gets his head up, plays it to Fernandes inside the centre circle. It's a loose pass cut out by Araujo. Back goes Romans. Wins it momentarily. Nygren wins it, and the challenge comes in from Romans, comes back off Nygren, and it will be a Rangers throw-in on the halfway line, left-hand side. It's breathless as always, Andy Halliday.
It is, and we're talking about Celtic players have to wake up and realise the game started. I think Emmanuel Fernandes already, there's a couple of occasions now he's been a little bit lax on the ball. Again, he doesn't take a great first touch there. There's a poor pass into Romans, it gets intercepted by Araujo, but Romans alive to a danger, wins it back, throw into Rangers.
Look, a nudge there from Chermiti on McGregor. Again, nothing given. Araujo gets it forward. Fernandes high up in the air on the halfway line. Maeda gets his head to it, back the way for Nygren, and now McGregor. Celtic looking to bring a bit of calm to the game, and a good pass from Nygren out to Tierney on the left-hand side. Sterling comes up to meet him, back with Scales. He comes forward down the left-hand side. Nygren in a bit of space. Sterling trying to get back with him, makes the challenge, and it's off Sterling. It'll be another Celtic corner on the left-hand side. Celtic looking for a leveller. 17 and a half minutes in. They trail by Yusuf Chermiti goal to 0. As cross goes Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to take this corner kick. He's tried a couple of near post balls, wonder if he'll try and mix it up. Callum McGregor is available on the angle. Mikey Moore just a few yards away from him as he looks to shut that off. Celtic looking to get back on level terms. The referee has a bit of a word there with Chukwani and Scales just on the penalty spot before Oxlade-Chamberlain now. Former Arsenal and Liverpool man swings it. It's a dangerous looking ball, comes all the way to the back post, and Rangers get a head to it, and it comes out of the box for Scales to pick up. Scales right hand side now, trying to get the ball back into the danger area. It comes off Tierney and behind for a goal kick, unfortunately for Celtic, but to the delight of most of the fans in the stadium. And after 18 and a half minutes, still Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
It's good work for Chutwani and Chermiti to show off the danger. Celtic try and create the overload out wide, but Chermiti doing the hard work, doing the hard yards, comes back, makes it a 2v2. Obviously an element of fortune with the ricochet, but relieves a wee bit of pressure. Celtic have come into the game in the last 2-3 minutes. They've certainly looked a lot more control within the game. Rangers will be trying to get the ascendancy back, but it's been a breathless opening 18 minutes.
Jack Butland then with the goal kick. Celtic haven't won on their last 4 visits, albeit 3 of those have been draws. You have to go back to September 2023 when a Kyogo goal was enough to separate the sides. Rangers pick up in the midfield. It's Mikey Moore who started brightly and he moves away from McGregor, coming forward towards the edge of the Celtic box. He's still going, he's into the box. A good challenge from Araujo to dispossess him and come forward, but it's a poor pass from the Mexican in the end. He gives possession back to Rangers, and it's John Souttar out to the right hand side for Scott Olsen, back to Sterling on the halfway line. Souttar once more, just a few yards deeper, tries to angle it out, looking for Romans, who might have been in an offside position, and indeed the flag goes up against the Belgian fullback, who, like Chutwani already mentioned, and he looks like a good acquisition in the January window to Romans.
He does. Looks like he's got something. He brings a different type of dimension, a different type of profile to the Rangers team. Big powerhouse, excellent to win the ball back, but composed in possession as well. Certainly looks like a great find that they picked up in January.
Maida plays the ball inside, but it evades his Celtic teammates, and Fernandes gets it forward to Moore. He looks for Naderi. Sinisalo comes out of his box and plays it over the halfway line, but it's won by Adamu. McGregor now picks up. Celtic looking to him to compose their side. 2,500 Celtic fans over on that far side, stunned into silence by that Youssef Chermiti finish. I think most people on the ground were, to be fair. As Scales brings it forward now for Celtic, closed down by Naderi to the halfway line for Oxlade-Chamberlain, harassed by Nico Raskin, gets it back to his goalkeeper though, and now it's Liam Scales midway inside his own half, out to Tierney left hand side, slips it down that left flank, looking for the runner Maida. Across comes Souttar and just clears the danger out of the park over on that left hand side as Celtic come forward. 21 in, 1-0 Rangers. We listen to Radio Scotland and 5 Live's coverage of a massive Old Firm derby. Tierney goes back the way to Liam Scales with the throw-in, 10 yards inside the Rangers half, back to the halfway line to Murray, who plays it square to Araujo, closed down by Mikey Moore, books the pass off to Nygren. Big goal threat as Yang picks up on the right hand side, tries to move away from Romans, he gets a foot in but only succeeds in knocking it to McGregor. Back to Murray it goes, and now Scales just inside the Rangers half and out to the left hand side for Tierney. Almost at the midway point in this first period, Rangers a goal up as McGregor has it. Best of possession is from Celtic, out to Tierney left hand side, ball into the box, Butland gathers it as near post. That's a good take because he was under a bit of pressure, as much from Manny Fernandes as anyone else, but he took it cleanly. An important take at the near post, Pat Nevin.
Just sums up the difference between the two teams, the styles. They are very, very different. Lovely control football from Celtic there. Played it around, waited for the gap to open up, and eventually did. Got down that left hand side, brilliant ball in there, keeper done extremely well. What was really getting to me watching this game just now, I think they'd not, here's a modern phrase for the game, the two number 42s are very important today, and it is, because McGregor is so imperative to get Callum McGregor on the ball if you're Celtic controls games, whereas you look at so far, Chutwani has probably done more in this game so far using his pure power. He's been really he's got the eye very much so.
Jack Butland preparing to restart the game. He just needed a little bit of a check there after taking a bit of a knock from Fernandes, I think it was. Here's Chermiti playing it through, looking for Moore. Scales is across the cover, plays it out on this near side for a Rangers throw-in. 23 in, Rangers leading by a 1-0.
Mikey Moore's been an absolute pest to Celtic, hasn't he? I mean, he's running with the ball, he's taking players on, he loses now and again, but he's asking some serious questions.
Now, you as a winger know, even if you fail once, you just go again, don't you? You just keep running at your fullback.
You only need to win that once. If you win it once and score a goal, you've won the day.
Indeed. Here's Fernandes, midway inside the Celtic half, plays it slightly back the way to Souttar, closed down by Adamu. Souttar out to the right hand side for Scott Olsen. Scott Olsen goes back to Fernandez just needs to be careful here. He's the last man when he plays the pass short to Chikwani. Forward for Naderi, back to Chikwani, lifts it over the top and all the way through to Sinisalo. A couple of slips in there, and comes to nothing as immediately Oxlade-Chamberlain is on the move over the halfway line, steps away nicely from Chikwani out to the left hand side. This is promising for Celtic, or at least it was, until Maida plays a really poor ball across the face of goal. You're always expecting better from him from that left hand side, but no chance for Adamu to get onto that one, and it remains after 24 minutes. Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
No, it's interesting you're watching Rangers when they attack, Alistair. Yang and Maeda are falling both fullbacks all the way back, so Celtic are almost reverting to a back six when Rangers are attacking high. That being said, Rangers are investing bodies into the box. That was Chikwani diving forward, and if they lose the ball in these scenarios, Celtic will look to spring on the counter-attack really quickly. It was good football, just not quite the final ball for Daizen Maeda.
Just having a quick look at the possession stats, it's pretty much 50-50 in these opening 25 minutes. But Rangers crucially with the 1-goal advantage given to them by Yusuf Chermiti after 8 minutes. An acrobatic effort worth catching on the highlights on Sports Scene on BBC Scotland later on, or indeed on the iPlayer. It's a beautiful strike for sure as Suter has it now for Rangers. Plays it forward down the right hand side for Scholl-Olsen. Tries to play it infield for Naderi, who gets it back to Scholl-Olsen right hand side. Now it's Raskan. Maida's coming back at him, but Raskan plays it into the box. A slice there by Murray, takes it over. There's Chermiti with a chance and a goal! Oh, it's outrageous from Yusuf Chermiti. A massive error. First from Dane Murray, then Araujo. Robbed by Chermiti. Such cute feet, and he pokes it past Sinisalo. It trickled over the line. Rangers have a 2-goal advantage. Both scored by Yusuf Chermiti. Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
I don't know what it is with Yusuf Chermiti in this fixture, but it does it again. Dane Murray has to deal with what is just a routine ball into the box from Nico Raskin. He doesn't deal with it, he scarfs it with his left foot, but Yusuf Chermiti does ever so well to keep it alive. Flicks it by Julian Araujo, flicks it by Sinisalo, 2-0 to Rangers.
Do you know what? That skill there, some would argue is actually maybe even better than the first goal, because he's flicked it around, he's got his back to goal. Araujo has no idea where he was. But you must say about Celtic's soft centre. 2 centre-backs, they're missing obviously Trusty. Carter Bicker's obviously out long-term as well, but they look very soft through the middle there. But take nothing away from that goal, or indeed both goals for Chermiti. They have both been international class.
Just to follow you up on that, Pat, how many times in 25 minutes have we seen Chikwani or Raskin turn the ball over for Rangers? Yeah. Negan, Oxlade-Chamberlain and McGregor have not tackled a single Rangers player yet in possession. Celtic need to be much better off the ball and make more contact.
Just faster and livelier and sharper, quicker to the ball, and wanting to go forward that much quicker, and it has worked so well for Rangers. I said a few minutes ago, Rangers are not happy with 1, they'll go for 2, 3, and it looks as if they're capable of doing it.
Well, Ibrox is quite literally bouncing here. You can feel the reverberations in the gantry here as almost to a man, woman and child, the Rangers fans jump up and down to celebrate the 2 goals that have given them the 27-minute 2-goal advantage. 2 outrageous pieces of skill from Yusuf Chermiti. He had absolutely no right to score that second one. The mistake initially from Murray, and then Araujo looked to be in charge of the situation, but Yusuf Chermiti just extended a long right leg, brought the ball under control before poking it past Viliama Sinisalo, and Celtic trail by 2 goals in this must-win fixture for both sides. And you do begin to worry about Celtic's ability to come back if they were to lose this one. Yes, they would still have a game in hand on Rangers and indeed on Hearts, but it's a long way back even for the champions as McGregor tries to feed it forward for Yang. Romans is there first. It's Celtic. They've just lost their way this season. There have been so many things have gone wrong on and off the park. A change of manager, not once but twice. The boardroom disputes with the fans, and it's all trickled onto the park, hasn't it, Pat? It's all had an effect on the pitch.
Well, it certainly hasn't helped. I don't think you can say that all that's helped to the club, but I think that's one of the things you'll say at the end of the season. Whatever happens, you can't go in a season and have that much chopping and changing and expect it to be controlled all the way through. But right at this point in time, it's just quite simple. They've got 11 players they're playing against Celtic just now, and the 11 in blue, or certainly the 10 outfield players, just look sharper, man for man. They look as if they want it more. They look as if they want to finish this game by half-time. There's a real... And the belief is the other thing about it. How Danny Rose got this level of belief out of this team is extraordinary, considering what it looked like at the start of the season.
It's a head knock here, I think, for Adamu. The referees stopped the game. Suter won the ball and then kind of almost fell over Adamu, who's come off second best. I don't think it's a free kick. I think maybe it is going to be a free kick. I thought it was a drop ball, but John Suter's complaining to John Beaton that he didn't do anything wrong, and I tend to sympathise with what it's going to be. It's going to be a drop ball to Celtic, which is probably fair enough. We're restarting now. We've played almost half an hour. Rangers leading by 2-0 in what feels like a potentially pivotal game in the title race. Rangers looking to narrow the gap on Hearts to 4 points. Still a long way to claw back, but a win in this fixture would do them a lot of good. And it would do Celtic a lot of harm, you would have to feel, as they come forward looking to get back into the contest before half-time. We've got 15 minutes left in this first period. Coming up later on after Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, we've got Off the Ball from 3 o'clock, and on 5 Live it's Premier League Sunday. There's 4 games in the top flight to look forward to with Steve Crossman. Here's Chukwani in the middle of the park. He's played well so far for Rangers. He clips that one forward. Murray gets his head to it though and picked up by McGregor. Feeds it forward for Nygren. Celtic absolutely need the next goal in this game. As Scholes plays it back to his goalkeeper Jack Butland up to the halfway line. Chermiti back to Mikey Moore. Great bit of skill to move away from Araujo. Here he comes forward. Good challenge from Yang. Took enough of the ball there. Really good work by Yang, but Celtic have given it back to Raskan here. Coming up towards the edge of the box. McGregor faces him up. Back comes Maida. Still Raskan though. Got himself in a tangle there. No foul. Referee's right to wag his finger. There was no way that was a foul. Raskan just got himself into a bit of a muddle there, and the chance is gone, but Rangers have won it back again. As Pat said, they look hungrier here as Mikey Moore has it, faced up by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Forward comes Romans into his path, takes a decent touch. Araujo's in his way again. He goes down. Rangers fans howl for a penalty, but no chance was that ever going to be given. Still 2-0 Rangers, and Celtic have possession through Yang. Finds Nygren midway inside his own half. Really terrible looking ball from the Swede in the middle of the park, and Rangers pick up once more as down goes Raskin, and that will be a free kick because of the attentions from Kieran Tierney there. It's quickly taken, and it's Sko Olsen picking up, coming in field off the right flank, comes back the way to John Suter, just allowing Nico Raskan a moment or two. He's still down on his lunches actually, Nico Raskan, as it's played forward down the left hand side here, and a daring challenge by Araujo. Will be a Rangers throw-in. Raskan just looks a little bit uncomfortable out there, Andy.
Yeah, he looks it, but I must say, sometimes can get lost in this game, but after 32 minutes, I think John Beaton's refereed really well. I think Raskin, they're trying to buy the foul. Again, I don't think there was any doubt there wasn't a penalty there for Romans. He's letting the game flow, and it's the reason we're seeing such a frantic opening 32 minutes.
Well, the nice thing is the players aren't even rolling about too much either. It's a good challenging game for all the players. It's flown by. It's been going at such a pace, but I have to keep on going back to Mikey Moore. I think he's doing absolutely. He's had some touches today so far. It's been world class, and it reminds me. This is the highest of praise I can give you. Kvaratskhelia is one of my favourite players in world football. He's playing like him today.
Yeah, I see the similarity certainly, Pat. He moves in a similar way. Maybe got a little bit to go certainly to get to that standard on a consistent basis. As Chermiti runs into trouble in the shape of Oxlade-Chamberlain, who finds Maida left hand side, but he's giving it straight back to Chukwani. Raskan lets it run. Chermiti steps in and moves away from McGregor in tidy fashion. Now it's out with Sko Olsen right hand side. The angle of the box on that right side. Sko Olsen plays it to Sterling almost at the byline. He has to check back the way. He's got support through Raskan. Raskan here, right hand side, pokes it back to Sterling, early ball into Chukwani. Now it's Moore, right hand side of the box, across the face of goal, and it needed the interception from Scales at the near post to take it behind for a Rangers corner, this time on the far side, and Celtic cannot afford to fall further behind before the interval, or else you feel it is already game over.
Rangers have been so dynamic in possession. I mean, you were saying they're playing a 4-2-2-2, but I mean, that's Nico Raskin out in the right wing, that's Mikey Moore over on the right hand side. They've just been so dynamic. There's great interchange of play, great combination play, unless he's Mikey Moore on the right hand side. You've got to say, great box defended by Liam Scales.
Scott Olsen in the corner from the right hand side, the left footed Dane will curl it in near post. It should be met there by Tierney, comfortably gets it away only as far as Moore, though plays it back out to Scott Olsen, brings it back under control and finds Moore once more. In field of him is Fernandez midway inside his own half, clips it into the area. Chukwani wins the header, Naderi on the stretch couldn't quite reach it, and Sinisalo comes off his line and takes that one. We've got 11 minutes to go in this first period. It is Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
Just looks so dangerous, every attack. Rangers, they've got real imagination from so many different areas. Again, go back to this belief, the confidence that the manager put into that team is extraordinary. They just do not care. They will try everything. Every player wants to go by his opponent. At the moment, Celtic look sluggish in the middle of the field here, and particularly Oxlade-Chamberlain. I mean, he's not the first player who's played in his first firm game who's thought, what's going on here? Can I get a breath? Can I get the ball at the feet? Can I get my foot in the ball? Well, he's not been able to do that yet, but it's hard in this game.
Romans gets it back from Chermiti, left hand side, midway inside the Celtic half on that left flank. Araujo takes him down, complains that he's penalised, but it is a free kick, and Martin O'Neill on his 74th birthday won't be enjoying it so far. He's out at the edge of his technical area, looking to try and find some words of inspiration, but Celtic needs something, because they have been second best thus far, and they've got a free kick to defend here on the left flank, just a yard or so in from the touchline, about 30 or thereabouts from the goal line. Mikey Moore and Scott Olsen both over this one as Scott Fry, the Rangers set-piece coach, comes to the fore and tries to get the instructions on. Here's Mikey Moore, left-hand side, curls it in, looks too close to Sinisalo, and it's a good take from the keeper under no particular pressure on the edge of his 6-yard box, and he quickly gets it moving to Nygren, left-hand side. Out to Tierney it goes. Tierney well challenged there on that right flank by Fernandez, and a little exchange of views, shall we say, between the two players before Tierney picks the ball up and gets on with it with a throw-in. 9 minutes to play in the first period. Rangers leading by 2-0, both scored by Youssef Chermiti, and both real top class, you would have to say, as Yang is impeded there by two Romans, and it will be a Celtic free kick in a pretty decent area here for the free kick to be taken, a few yards in from the right touchline, about 25 yards from goal, and an opportunity here for Celtic to try and do something. They need to claw their way back into a game in which they haven't really been overly involved in the opening 36 and a half minutes, as Oxlade-Chamberlain and Benjamin Nygren stand over the free kick, preparing to try and test the Rangers back line here. Jack Butland has been pretty much untroubled thus far, and Celtic changed that here and reduced the deficit at Ibrox. It's going to be Oxlade-Chamberlain who'll send this one in right-footed. One-man wall comprised of Mikey Moore right at the angle of the box, as Oxlade-Chamberlain prepares to send it in. It's a deep ball to the back post. Up goes Maida, comes off a Rangers head, and then Jack Butland goes up and grabs that one and goes down at the edge of his 6-yard box. Comfortable take in the end. Maida did well to win the initial header, but no real test for the goalkeeper. And on 37 minutes, it's still Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
I think Celtic, if they could somehow sneak a goal back and go in just 2-1 down, I think Martin O'Neill would be, well, it's hard to say he'd be delighted with it, but we'd know he had something to work with, and I certainly think at half-time it'll be very much in his mind. He needs to get something else done. There will be, if not personnel changes, tactical changes, but I wouldn't be surprised if personnel changes, at least 1 or 2 substitutions.
5 of those outfield players, Pat, played on Thursday in the game out in Stuttgart. Is that taking its toll, do you feel?
It might do. It might be part of it, but that's part of the game. You have to be able to deal with that.
Rascan gets back to Rob. Callum McGregor. Chukwani, though, misses out, and Oxlade-Chamberlain pokes it to Yang. Yang out to the left-hand side. Just a little bit overhit for Nygren, but he picks up possession and plays it back to Tierney. Tierney at the angle of the box here. Yang steps away from one challenge. Then Oxlade-Chamberlain was just easily robbed by Mikey Moore, who's then caught by Callum McGregor, who goes into the referee's book, the first booking of the game. And Mikey Moore perhaps just left the right leg hanging to catch the left of Callum McGregor, but nonetheless the referee saw that as a foul and a booking. It's a yellow card for the Celtic captain, and it rather sums up the way things have been going for his side, as the Rangers fans again find their voices. It's the Mikey Moore song, and I do feel that as the season's gone on, as Mikey Moore has got more and more game time, he really has more and more come onto a game as well.
He has, and it seems as if he's the one player within Rangers' system that gets given almost a free roll to roam inside and pick up the ball and take on the half turn and drive it back forwards. And I mean, 18-year-old Alistair, and he's playing on the biggest occasion and the biggest Old Firm fixture for a long period of time, and he's taken it in his stride. He's been superb so far.
Scott Olsen has possession over on the right-hand side. Hauled down, was he, by Tierney? The assistant's flag there, and it will be a Rangers free kick right on that touchline over on the far side. The Rangers right, about 12 maybe from the corner flag, and an opportunity here for them to perhaps work another set piece and get that third goal that you feel perhaps at the moment, Pat, a third goal might take the game beyond Celtic.
Well, we've seen mad, weird things happen in Celtic versus Rangers and Rangers versus Celtic games. But 3 goals, by the way that Rangers are playing just now, the fact that they have got real power in the bench to bring on, that might be allow them to keep this sort of pace up for the second 45, because it's 5 minutes to go to half time. They don't look as if they're slowing down any moment now.
It's going to be Mikey Moore then on that right-hand side, right-footed to take this free kick. What has he got up his sleeve here? Just a ball straight into the box, the header just wide from Fernandes. He won it so easily, almost unmarked at the edge of the 6-yard box, and arguably should be hitting the target. Instead it goes a yard or so wide of Sinisalo's right-hand post, and it remains after 40 minutes. Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
Well, it's the first time Rangers have managed to get a good delivery into the box for these situations, and you've got to say Fernandes has to do better there. It's a free header, only 8-9 yards out, where he gets plenty of power on it but not enough to direct into the corner.
It's a big chance. It's a big miss, isn't it? It's a really big miss there, because all you need to do is get on target, and you've got the entire goal to aim at. There's nobody marking you. You're clear, the 7-8 yards out. I mean, far be it for me to tell people how to head of football, but you should be able to get that on target, and if it was on target, it would have been a goal.
Yeah, Manny Fernandes has certainly been a threat in those situations, as Naderi just fails to keep the ball in on this near side, and it'll be a Celtic throw-in. But Fernandes has chipped in with 6 goals since he's come into the team, many of them goals like that, headers from corners, albeit the one at Livingston he fairly rattled in from the edge of the penalty area. Really sweet strike to begin the comeback against Livy. 2 drop points though in that game that they might yet come to rue, but at the moment they're leading by 2 goals to 0 as half-time approaches. 3.5 minutes left of the initial 45. Played forward by Chukwani, but with too much on it, and it's all the way through to Sinisalo. Celtic yet to have a meaningful shot at goal. Rangers with 2 goals of the utmost quality from Youssef Chermiti to give them the advantage here, as Celtic have it through Yang. It's a good ball for Nygren, but he doesn't have the speed or the acceleration to move away from Chukwani, and Rangers play it back to Jack Butland, who immediately launches it forward. Naderi's underneath it, but Murray wins the header. Nygren's back there to keep possession for Celtic, and now it's McGregor to his left for Kieran Tierney. Tierney turns back the way towards his own goal. He's looking for an angle. He plays it to Scales, who'll be closed down by Chermiti. It's just up the line now for Maida. Sterling right on his back, plays it back the way to Tierney once more, midway inside his own half, and now Scales once again. Is it a case now for Celtic, part of simply getting in at half-time with no further damage and regrouping almost?
Yeah, they'd probably almost take that just now, because it's, they almost went 3-0 down there. The energy levels are so low in comparison, particularly in that midfield, and you're looking at the Celtic forwards. I mean, how often have we actually mentioned Daniel's name, other than just now when he fouled somebody? They're not really getting any pivot in this game at all. They're not getting a foothold at any point in time. There's a couple of times they've made some nice, pretty passing movements, but when it comes to that fight and battle in the midfield, they've lost every battle. And in an Old Firm game, that's a disaster.
Rangers have got a free kick about 20 yards inside the Celtic half, and they're pushing plenty of players forwards for this as Scott Olsen and Mikey Moore come back to debate who will deliver it in towards the edge of the Celtic penalty area. We've got about 90 seconds remaining of the original 45 minutes as Scott Fry, the set-piece coach, comes to the edge of the technical area to try and get the instructions on quite vehemently. I'm not sure the Rangers players are necessarily picking up on what he's saying, but Moore feigns and leaves it to Scholes, who flights it in towards the back post. Now Derry's there, nods it down, might come for Suter, blocked by Murray. Back to Fernandez, he tries a snapshot and it's going to go well wide of target in the end, but again it's all too easy. Suter, Naderi wins the header relatively comfortably, and Suter's all on his own, and but for the block might well have troubled Sinisalo. Still Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
I think it's Dave Murray does a good job at closing the distance on John Suter, because it's like you said, it's a free shot, it's a free volley on goal to try and hit it towards target, but he does well to close the distance and block the shot. But you know, like Pat was just talking about there, whether it's individual duels on the floor or individual duels in the air, Rangers are coming. Celtic are coming out off second best in every single scenario. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if Martin O'Neill's going to be making changes at half time.
Yeah, well, that's almost upon us as Liam Scales turns it back to his goalkeeper from the halfway line. The fourth official, Duncan Nicholson, preparing to show us. Sounds like there's going to be a minute added on at the end of this opening 45. Hadn't been too many stoppages for sure. Here's Maida picking up on the left-hand side for Celtic. Can he somehow find a goal to give them a fighting chance coming into the second period? Scales clips it forward, but across goes Sterling to cut it out. Rascan picks up right-hand side, and he'll just play it down the right-hand wing as Scales cuts it out, comes back up towards Naderi. He can't hold on to it. It is a minute added on, and we're into that now here at Ibrox Stadium. Rangers leading by 2-0. Celtic in possession. Tierney quickly closed down there, plays the ball forward. He hit the deck under pressure from Rascan, who offers an apology. Celtic still continuing, McGregor in possession, and now Tierney takes over again. In slides Mikey Moore though to win it back. Scholes and stopped in his tracks by Tierney. Rangers still in their own territory, but clipped forward by Sterling, and Scales knocks it out of play before Naderi can bring it under his control. Throw in on the halfway line as half time is just seconds away, but Rangers have utterly dominated this first period.
Andy said something early on there about closing down McGregor. They've done a job in Callum McGregor, haven't they, Rangers? And if you do a job in Callum McGregor, I'm not saying it completely stops Celtic, but it's probably their main player. He is the metronome, but they've done some job on him today.
Rangers just taking their time over this throw-in as John Beaton puts the whistle to his lips and brings the first 45 to a close. A first 45 that has very much gone Rangers' way, and 2 goals of top quality from Youssef Chermiti put them in the box seat as far as this huge match is concerned. The first came after 8 minutes. Andreas Scott Olsen on the right hand side got the cross in, and Youssef Chermiti with the most fabulous acrobatic overhead kick from about 10 yards out, and it flew past Viliami Sinisalo in the Celtic goal. He didn't have an earthly on that one. He didn't know much about the second either. 26 minutes in, Rascan played a decent enough ball into the box. Dave Murray took a big swipe at it, got it all wrong. It sliced, but it looked like Julian Araujo still had the situation under control, but it nipped. Chermiti once more robbed him before poking it with the outside of his boot beyond Sinisalo. Fernandez had a header just before the interval that he should have scored with, could have made it 3-0 as Youssef Chermiti walks off to the acclaim of the home fans. Andy Halliday, it has been some first half for him and some first half for Rangers.
It's been incredible. I think Rangers have been excellent. I think it's arguably been the best 45-minute period under Danny Rule. You know, we said it earlier, but I just don't know what it is with Youssef Chermiti in big games. He's such an enigma. You know, I think he's split opinions across the board when it comes to Rangers fans and neutral fans across Scotland. But one thing's for sure, in the 2 games against Celtic and the games against Hearts, it's where he's provided his best performances. He's came up with the goods today. I mean, that first goal, for anyone that's not seen it and just listening on the radio, you know, tune into Sports Scene tonight and you will see Scott McTominay versus Denmark in an Old Firm fixture. It was that good. Yeah,
to be honest, it's one of the great goals of the Old Firm history. It really is. It's a fantastic goal, and the second one, brilliant in its own way as well. So Rangers are in a great position just now. Obviously more of the same they want. Second half, like we both suggested there that Celtic are going to make changes. Well, we know for sure now, because two players that are warming up outside right in front of us just now, Hatate, they need energy in that midfield there. There's no doubt about that.
I was just going to put it to you as well, Pat, obviously being a winger yourself, the amount of times that Celtic have got the ball in an unopposed situation, they're looking up, and Junior Adamu's just playing against Rangers centre-halves. Yep. He's not playing in the last line, he's not looking to run in behind, he's not giving any Celtic player an out ball forward. So I think we're seeing two people warm up, Sebastian Tenetke and Rio Hatate just now. I'd be amazed if you see Junior Adamu in the second half for Celtic.
Well, I'd be quite surprised if you see Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. Again, it's nothing against him. This is a tough tie to play your first tie in, and to come and play at this pace, and Rangers playing above the pace even you would normally expect in this tie. It's been really hard for him. Fabulous player, but he's not going to get that time in the ball today.
Half time in Ibrox, Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
The Old Firm Derby.
Live on Sports Sound.
Look again!
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Saturday Show with Amy Irons and Stephen Mill.
We talk a lot about football on our show. Being from Maryhill, are you a Thistle fan?
Of course, I still go there and say that. I'm always back in Glasgow. Me and my two boys always got them taking a couple of Thistle games. I absolutely love it.
I am going to tell my dad that, who once played for Partick Thistle, that Robert Carlyle might have actually watched him play.
What was your dad's name?
David Irons.
Oh, aye. There you go.
You can tell your dad that Robert Carlyle knows who he is. He'll be so happy.
I'm blown away by that.
Listen to The Saturday Show.
Thank him for his service.
Saturday at 9 a.m. on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
This is Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon, and we have just witnessed and brought you an utterly dominant 45 minutes from Rangers that will see them move, should they see it out, 5 points clear of Celtic and to within 4 points of Heart of Midlothian at the top of the table. Youssef Chermiti has been the main man, 2 stunning goals. He has only scored in 5 matches this season for a total of 9, 1 against Kilmarnock, and incredibly 4 each now against both Heart of Midlothian and Celtic. A player, it would appear, for the big occasion. And this big occasion, Pat Bonner, is, as things stand, being comprehensively won by Danny Rowe and his team.
Yeah, I hate to say it, Celtic have been outfought, outmuscled, especially in the middle of the pitch, outplayed at times, and that first 12 minutes Celtic were really on the back foot, and of course an unbelievable goal, you've got to say, but there was other chances, and I just think that there's players out there at the moment that just cannot play in this fixture. You know, Oxlade-Chamberlain, we talk all about his qualities and all that, but the game's just bypassing him. He just doesn't know that this game you've got to work really hard first and foremost, run around, and then the quality comes to the fore, and you know, he's hoping that his quality will put him into the game. Sorry, you've got to do the other part. The other two, Yang and Maeda, nothing really from them. Adamu, nothing up front, hasn't been able to boss the game.
There was a stat that the telly flashed up, I think about 35 minutes into the game. The 3 players with the fewest touches on the pitch this afternoon, Yang, Adamu and Maeda.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. And when he did get a touch then, there was a great moment, I think after 15 minutes, when Yang won the ball and he played forward to Maeda, and his touch was awful. The cross in from Maeda was awful also when he was in a great position down the left-hand side. Those are details that you know, if you haven't got the ball, we talk about it, there's games where you don't have a lot of possession, but then when you do, you've got to be spot on, and they're not spot on. They're giving the ball away. Rangers have been really good, I've got to say, down this left-hand side. Mikey Moore, I think, you know, Pat Nevin's been on about him during the commentary, how good he is. Absolutely, for a young boy, what is he, 18, 19 years old? 18 years old. He's gone out, and that's what you've got to do. Go look for the ball, get on it, be brave, go at teams, go at players, create things in that forward. He's playing that inside left position. He's doing two jobs. He's filling in defensively when he needs to, because they're kind of outnumbered in the middle of the pitch with 3v2, but you wouldn't even know that. You wouldn't even know it. And then when he gets the ball, and then he's got great support from the left back, Romans, who's very, very quick. I talked to Andy before the game about him. I didn't really see too much of him, but he says he's very, very good. And for a man who's come from lower division in Belgium, really, really, really positive, running forward, linking up. So Rangers have deserved it. What a goal, though! What an unbelievable! Nobody would have saved that goal. I'm telling you now. It was power, but he got up so high. Tom was showing me a photograph of it. Tom, I think it was about 10 feet in the air when he made contact with the ball, which was quite incredible. Now he's a big lad and he's got big legs, and but the power he got into it, unbelievable. And to take that on with confidence, wow. That was really, really good. So Rangers deserve to be where they are, 2-0 up. They could have been more. Celtic have got to do something. He's got to change it around at half-time. He's really got to. I'm so surprised at McCarron. I thought he was excellent the other night, that he wasn't in the team instead of Chamberlain, even Negrin in the middle of the pitch. If he doesn't get himself in the box, what does he do? You know, is he creative? No, in the middle of the pitch he'll work away, he'll run around a bit, but he's not creative. The bit that he's really good at is getting in the box. But if you can't get the ball into the box, then he becomes null and void. That's the problem.
The two goals, the first one from Charmiti was the overhead kick. He has caught that as pure as you could ever catch a football. It's stunning. It isn't off the ankle or the shin or part of the foot. It's bang, right in the middle of the foot. And the power that he generated was incredible. The second one, it's a fresh air swipe from Dane Murray. Araujo then gets kind of caught under the ball, but it's such brilliant awareness from Charmiti to just flick the ball back past the Celtic right back, and then it's a difficult little bounce as well, and he guides it, Pat, just beyond the on-rush Sinisalo. I mean, two excellent examples of striking play.
Unbelievable, and totally aware of what he was actually doing. That's the point in both occasions. You know, listen, Dane Murray, a nightmare again. That's, I think, 2 or 3 times he's done that with his left foot. He's playing right side centre back, but you've got to be comfortable on both sides now in the modern game.
He scored their own goal against Hearts that way as well, didn't he?
He took a swipe at it. He's not in total control of what he's doing. He's a young man learning the game, but almost in a position now where it looks as if he's a young man. You know, and that's the problem. And Celtic just, anytime the ball comes forward, you're just worried. You know, as a Celtic supporter, you're worried that, is there going to be another chance here? Is it going to fall for it? Rangers are getting so many bodies in the box too. That's the other problem. You know, McGregor's the one player that's a holding midfield player, as you could say, but they're bombing fellas forward. There's times when they've got 4 or 5 in the box when the ball goes wide. Who's picking them up? Who's been able to deal with it? Wow, it's really been an incredible showing from Celtic, but a brilliant showing from Rangers when you consider what's at stake.
Tom English, we heard Martin O'Neill say beforehand, we just hope by the end of the afternoon we are still involved in proceedings. They're looking less and less likely to be right now, aren't they?
They sure are. I mean, they're miles off it, and they're miles off it because Rangers have been so good. Right from the start, literally from the first minute, Rangers had a speed about them, an aggression about them, an accuracy about them, a belief, confidence that wiped the floor with Celtic. The goals were inevitable. I mean, they were spectacular in their own way, but they were inevitable. The Rangers have something today, and it just shows that they're making Celtic look like a tired team with no ideas. A team full of guys who are out of their depth and just inaccurate in their use of the ball, panicked, nowhere near believing themselves like Rangers are believing in themselves. So it's been a spectacular 45 minutes from the home team. I mean, everything they've done. Mikey Moore, I agree with the lads, Mikey Moore has been a joy to watch. A teenager bossing the show. McGregor, the totem, can't do it all on his own, and he's having to try and do it all on his own, and he's getting nowhere because he's getting targeted. And if you look at the first goal, right? I mean, obviously, it's the most outrageous finish. But in the corner, Araujo is robbed of possession by Romans, but also by Tremiti. It's Chermiti and Romans who gang up at him, take the ball off him, and then Chermiti strolls into the box, and then he does his spectacular. It's obviously McTominay-esque. McTominay was 2.53 metres off the ground, his boot was, when he struck that, and it's a world record. That's a world record, the Denmark goal. I wonder where Chermiti's is going to rank.
Yeah.
Well, you just know someone will be measuring that distance as we speak.
Totally, because everyone after McTominay, everybody was measuring Paul Unuchu from Genk against Antwerp in 2020. He's second, and Ronaldo is third for Real Madrid versus Juve in 2018.
And you know my age when I'm talking about it in feet. Tom's talking about meters.
Well, 2.53 metres is just over 8 feet, isn't it? Just over 8 feet.
It's higher. I think it's higher.
It could well be. I mean, it was just ridiculous. But what impressed, apart from obviously the finish, which was just otherworldly, his work rate in the build-up I thought was brilliant. And the second goal was just pure cheek. It was the kind of polar opposite of the first one. The first one was just acrobatic brilliance. The second one was just impotence. It was just cheekiness. It was just subtlety. Little touch, goal. It's been an amazing Rangers performance. It really has, and they've sorted out Celtic.
Do you think one of the differences we're seeing between these teams right now is how the new players have bedded themselves in? I mean, Mikey Moore's been there all season, of course, but Chukwueze has come in. He's made a difference. Skov Olsen, maybe not quite making the same impact, but he's been involved this afternoon. And of course, they've also, certainly when it comes to these big games, Tom, they're finding something in Chermiti.
They are, yeah. I mean, he's like, remember, he's still a very young player, but we can see now what Kevin Thelwell saw. I mean, he has these moments, and if he has more of these moments as he gets older, he's going to be a very special player, and he's going to be worth 8 million and maybe more. And we all mocked Rangers for spending that kind of money on him, but with his age profile and with his obvious ability, although we haven't seen enough of it, this guy could be a phenomenal player for Rangers, because he's got the raw materials, he's got the size, and he clearly has the ability, and he's making fools of Celtic right now.
He looks like a player that performs when he's confident. You know what I mean? Like, you get players who are, when things are going against him, then he kind of drifts out of the game and he doesn't. But he looks now that he'll do all these things that we've witnessed today because he's so high in confidence, and he's that sort of kind of almost type of player, you know, and he needs to have that to perform. That's my reading of him. You know, he works away quite hard. He's not the quickest player in the world until he gets going, but his ability to do these outrageous things is confidence.
And it's 2-0. I mean, Fernandez should really score. It should be 3-0. This game should be over.
Yeah, he should have done, absolutely. But it is 2, and Rangers absolutely dominant. There'll be more at the end of the game from Pat Bonner and Tom English. Right now, there's time for live second half commentary from Ibrox Stadium. Rangers 2, Celtic 0, as we rejoin Andy Halliday, Pat Nevin and Al Lamont.
Welcome back to Ibrox for the second half. Celtic already back out on the field of play, and they have made 2 changes, and it's Rio Atati and Sebastian Tunekti who have come on for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Junior Adamu, both of their Old Firm debuts lasting just the 45 minutes. Let's see what kind of difference those changes can make for Martin O'Neill's side as Rangers re-emerge for the second period here, and it looks like they are unchanged. There's no great surprise there given the way they played overall in that first period, and they are certainly well in charge as we enter the second 45 here. Rangers looking to move themselves back to within 4 points of the leaders' hearts and give themselves a fighting chance in the closing stages of the season to overtake them and reclaim the title they won in 2021. It's their only league title in the last 14 seasons, Celtic winning, of course, the other 13 as Rangers immediately winning possession back to Nico Raskan at the start of this second period. Celtic have it once more though, but again they've given it straight to Scholes from Tierney. Scholes plays a little 1-2. Now it's Moore for Chukwani. Helps it on at the edge of the box looking for Romans, but it's just too short. Chukwani wins it back momentarily. Murray plays it out on the far side. And again, the start of the second half, it encapsulates the first period. Rangers first to the loose balls, winning it back quickly, and Celtic just a little lax. Here they come once more, Rangers. It's Chukwani out to Roman's left hand side, gets it back from Chukwani again, and now into Mikey Moore at the edge of the box, lays it back for Raskan. Half thought about the shot, plays it to the back post instead for Chermiti. Scholes takes the shot on, deflection and wide for the corner. Celtic claiming for a handball. Some sympathies with that claim, but it's not given. Rangers get the corner kick, which is quickly taken over on the far side. Looking to kill this game off as quickly as they possibly can. Araujo gets the header cleared. It'll come out to Scholes and plays it to Sterling, right hand side. Chinecti trying to get back at him. Sterling gets the cross in. Scales cuts it out at the near post, and it'll come out for a Rangers throw in. Another fast start to the second half, Andy Halliday.
As you said, Rangers continuing the second half off the way they left the first. Within 30 seconds already 3 times. Raskin stealing the ball off a Tierney, Scott Wilson stealing the ball off a Chinecti, and then the loose ball again for Chukwani winning over the right hand side. So at this moment in time, Rangers just playing with so much more energy than Celtic.
And it comes to the Celtic box once more, headed away by Murray, picked up by Fernandez, and out to Roman's left hand side. Moore once again steps in off that left flank, moves away from the challenges and plays it to Sterling. Now out to Scholes and right hand side, up against Tierney here. Back to Mikey Moore at the angle of the box, and it comes a good ball to the back post. Romans is there, saved by Sinisalo. Danny Rule with his head in his hands, because that could have been 3 as well. Romans probably didn't quite catch the shot as he would have wanted, but another warning sign for Celtic. It's still Rangers 2, Celtic 0. Pat Nevin.
Well, the opportunities are just racking up, aren't they? That's another great one at the back post for Rangers. They had a header just before half time. Both of those could have made it 3 and would have been good night tonight, I think, for Celtic, but they're still in it with a battle. The problem is nothing sticking up front. They've now got Maeda up front playing in his own up there. They need to get better ball up to him, give him something to work for. Easier said than done against this Rangers team though.
Scholes and fouled by Kieran Tierney. It'll be a Rangers free kick midway inside their own half. Yes, Pat said, Maeda through the middle now where Adamu is playing, and Chinecti takes up that position on the left hand side. Yang still on the right flank, and Huatati in where Oxlade-Chamberlain had been operating. Played up towards Chermiti, wins the header. Callum McGregor though picks up the loose ball. We've played 3 minutes of the second half. Rangers leading by 2-0. Chinecti just inside his own half, back to Tierney, and now Scales has it. Celtic need to find some inspiration from somewhere. They need to find a goal from somewhere to give them something to build on. You simply cannot afford for Rangers to score the third goal in this game, as Murray plays out to the right hand side, flicked on by Yang, looking for Araujo, cut out by Fernandez, helped on by Chukwani. McGregor returns it. Nugren knocks it back to Yang and out to the right hand side for Araujo, midway inside the Rangers half. Now it's McGregor. McGregor slips it back to the right to Yang, level with the Rangers penalty area, tries to help it on to Araujo, cut out though, up towards Chermiti it goes, and now Moore picks up once more and begins to drive forward. A good challenge by Yang. Atati now midway inside the Rangers half, back with Yang. Yang out to Araujo, right hand side of the box, into Nugren on the angle, swivels and fires a shot well off target, as you can hear from the howls of derision from the Rangers fans around about us, and it remains Rangers 2, Celtic 0, 49 played.
The thing about Nugren, he doesn't always play brilliantly, but he's got a habit of scoring goals, and he's a good goal scorer. That was a half chance there. He should have got that on target. I think the manager's had a word with him. He's tried to put a little bit more energy into this second half, because he was another player who this match has actually passed by in the first half. But Nugren alongside Tati and McGregor there, they must somehow get some control, because we have a dig at the wingers not getting the ball, such as Yang, are not playing well. Never get the ball. Never get the ball in the final third. We end up any opportunity to do anything in that first half.
Celtic have it. It's Tierney for Scales, midway inside his own half. Tierney gets it back from Tinekti. Scales turns it back to Sinisalo. Rangers closing Celtic down in this deep area, but Celtic for the moment playing out around that press. Hatate with a good ball to switch it for Murray. Murray out to Araujo, right hand side, crossing the halfway line. 5 minutes into the second period, still 2-0 Celtic trail as Araujo tries to play it forward. Looked like a foul there by Romans. Celtic have picked up possession again anyway as Araujo sends it in. Hatate on the stretch, can't reach it. Scott Olsen plays it back to Sterling inside his own penalty area, and Sterling hammers over the halfway line. Now Scales has got to be careful, hooks it over his shoulder before Naderi can close him down, and it's picked up by Tierney. Tierney out to the left to Tinekti, who is capable of influencing games, particularly perhaps off the bench, and he needs to do that this afternoon as Murray plays it out to Araujo. But 30 yards from the Rangers goal on the right hand side, looks for the 1-2. Araujo will get to the byline, cross comes in, Fernandez stretches and heads it behind. The Celtic fans encouraged over there in that far corner. They've won themselves a corner kick. Can they find the goal they require?
Well, it's the best passage of play of the game so far for Celtic. Great build up down this left hand side. Rio Hatate gets that little switch of play, and then the attacking numbers. I think Julio Araujo, you can see he's playing a lot more advanced than he did in the first half. He's giving Celtic an outball. Rangers got a corner to defend,
which will be taken by Kieran Tierney on the right hand side. Left footed, in swinger right into the 6 yard box. It's Fernandez who gets first to it. It'll come all the way out to this near side for a Celtic throw in. Well defended though by the towering defender as Hatate prepares to take the corner, but the throw in, but Tierney instead jogs across to this near side, and he'll take the throw instead. Just a few yards from the corner flag, throws it into Hatate. Hatate at the byline, gets the ball in. Suter cuts out at the near post. Rangers, from their point of view, Andy, they don't want to be offering Celtic any encouragement in this regard.
Oh, absolutely. They played with so much energy in this opening 52 minutes. They won't want that to drop, because if it does drop ever so slightly, you know Celtic are capable of working their way back into games. We've seen it so often recently, especially with the late goals.
Yeah, they were 2-0 down at Rugby Park recently at half-time. Came back to win 3-2 with that 97th minute winner from Araujo. Rangers have forced them back to the goalkeeper here as Scales now picks up Danny Rule right at the edge of his technical area, urging his players to press higher. And Scales now plays it square for Dane Murray. 52.5 played. Rangers leading by 2-0. You listen to BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live's coverage of a massive Old Firm derby as Araujo picks up right hand side. Back in field for McGregor. McGregor teases it forward, looking for the run of Maida, but too much on the pass, and asking too much there of Dies and Maida. 53 played, Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
Well, he's trying to play, I won't say an impossible ball, but a highly unlikely through ball there. But you've got to see, we've talked a lot about what Rangers have done, particularly midfield, to look really dangerous up front. That back four has looked so solid. They've given nothing away. And up until now, I don't think I've seen one mistake by Sterling, Suter, Fernandez or Romans.
Tierney will take this free kick. Out on the left-hand side, Celtic will back the way to Scales. Sinisalo now well out of his penalty area. Celtic need to find a goal from somewhere. McGregor gives it away in the middle of the park. Raskan picks up. Can Rangers do something here? Raskan forward to Naderi. Celtic will get numbers back. The flick from Chermiti is a poor one, and now Negrin can move forward in Celtic's counter-attack out to the left-hand side for Tinekti. Comes inside Sterling, plays it back to Negrin on the edge of the box. Now Hatate, bit of space. Can he get the shot off? He can. Down goes Butland to tip it wide. First save he's had to make, and it was a decent one. You'd expect him to make it, but Hatate caught it well from 25 yards. And there's the encouragement I was talking about. The Rangers needlessly gave Celtic Chermiti's slack play in the middle of the park, Pat, and it was almost a Celtic goal as a result.
The narrative can change so quickly in any football match, but in particular this one. If Celtic could get a goal before it goes to 3-0, if they can get it to 2-1, it will totally change the attitude, the feeling, and you'll see much more from Celtic.
Here's Hatate again, picking up on the short corner from McGregor. It's Araujo from distance. He's going to go for it. Takes a nick. And it's going to be another corner, this time on the far side. The Rangers fans unhappy that their team have dropped off, and neither's Jack Butland. He's roaring at his defence there to get out and meet Celtic before they can get these shots away. It's going to be a corner on the right hand side. Celtic's best period of the game so far, 55 in. They still trail by 2-0. It'll be Tierney with this corner kick from the right hand side. Is there a way back into the game for Celtic? Tierney swings it in. It's a good ball. Fernandes to it first. Hatati doesn't catch it on the left foot. Still Rangers can't get it clear though. Comes to Yang, lays it back to the edge. It's McGregor back out to the right hand side. Tierney takes a touch away from Raskan, squeezes it back into the box, flicked on, away by Romans at the back post. Rangers under the cosh a little bit just at the moment. Hatati picks up once more and out to Tenekti. Celtic sense there might be a way back here for them. It's Tenekti on the left hand side. Can he find the angle for the shot? He does, but it's blocked by Sterling. Picked up by McGregor. Left hand side is Hatati, just outside the penalty area. Picks the pass for McGregor. Now Nugent stands it up. Header comes in. Goal! Celtic are back in it. And Kieran Tierney at the back post has hauled Celtic right back into this contest. It was on the cards for the last few minutes, and eventually Celtic's pressure pays off, and the unlikely figure of Kieran Tierney in the right wing position heads past Jack Butland for his first ever goal against Rangers. And Celtic have breathed new life into this contest after 56 minutes. It's Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Well, a number of things are happening there. Hatati has changed it a little bit. He's given a little bit more energy to it as well. A couple of shots towards the target as well. One well saved by Butland. But they've just increased the pressure. They look as if they're playing as a unit, as a team. It wasn't like that before. Rangers have been unable to hold it for 5 minutes there, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Can Celtic keep it going at this level? And it does. Danny Rowe now have to make 1 or 2 changes because his team look a little bit more sluggish than they have the rest of the game.
Tenekti is also livened things up for Celtic. Stopped in his tracks by Yusuf Chermiti. But Rangers just for the first time taking their foot off the gas, Andy, and it's cost them.
It was, and it was the two players introduced at half time, Rio Hatati and Tenekti, heavily involved. The Rangers had 2-3 opportunities to try and clear the danger and get up the pitch, but Celtic done ever so well to recycle it. And when you look back, it's an unbelievable ball for Benjamin Egan. It looks for all the world as if he's going to take a strike at goal, but just a lovely little dink ball to the back post. Celtic have that overload header for Kieran Tierney, and out of nowhere Celtic are well back in this game.
Certainly are. All to play for, just over half an hour left. Ball breaks in the middle of the park. Fernandes comes out on top against Yang. Now can he play the ball forward here for Chermiti? Look like he might just be offside. Play continues. Chermiti with a poor ball into the box anyway, and it won't matter. It goes all the way out on the far side. The flag doesn't go up in the end, so it will just be a throw-in over on the far side to Celtic. But that was an opportunity for Rangers to extend their advantage once again. As Celtic at the throw-in, quickly flicked on there by Yang. Maida can't get there. Suter all the way back to Jack Butland, who's going to be disappointed that his clean sheet is broken, having been untested in the first period, beaten by Tierney's header. Suter, and a little bit of miscommunication there at the back between Suter and Sterling, and it's just a couple of mistakes creeping into Rangers' game in the second half. Suter plays it forward in the right channel. Moore will go and chase it. Scales is there well ahead of him and gets it clear for a throw-in in this near side.
Rangers just starting to be a little bit unsure in possession. Don't look as slick as they were, don't look as dynamic as they were to make movements off the ball as well. And you can feel that within the stadium, and you can, the momentum shifts so much in this fixture. You can already start to feel it shift towards Celtic's favour.
It's absolutely extraordinary, the total domination from that first half, and even for the first 5 minutes of the second half, it's evaporated.
Chermiti has it down at the corner flag right hand side. Come off him last though, and it's out for a Celtic throw-in. As the goal scorer for Celtic's Kieran Tierney, playing in his 17th game against Rangers, and that's the first time he's managed to get on the score sheet. He's won the vast majority of the games he's played previously against his local rivals. As he throws the ball down the line, Rangers won it back. McGregor though gets his head to it. Hatati helps it to Yang. Yang forward looking for Araujo. Fernandes will have to sprint to get there first, and he knocks it back from the halfway line to Jack Butland. Rangers need to regain their composure as Butland sends it over the halfway line. McGregor tries to bring it under control. Scales for Hatate, closed down by Chukwani, gets it back to Murray. Murray returns it to his goalkeeper Sinisalo. We're almost at the hour mark. Rangers leading by 2-1 in an intriguing, enthralling Old Firm encounter. They're rarely anything less as Hatate clips it back to Sinisalo. He's closed down quickly, but he does manage to get it clear out to this near side, the Celtic left, and it bounces over to Nekti and out for a throw-in, and Danny Rule applauds the closing down there that forced Sinisalo into the rushed clearance. Throwing Rangers then about 15 yards inside the Celtic half. That's an hour gone now as Suter picks up on the throw-in from Sterling, moves it out to the left for Fernandez. Romans now on the halfway line. Romans will bring it forward. Celtic backpedaling here. Can Rangers fashion an opportunity? It's Moore on the angle of the box. Then Naderi's well challenged by Araujo. McGregor forward for Tinekti. Looks like he just overrun it. Allows Fernandez to step in, but Celtic get a loose ball. And they'll pick up and they'll go in the counter here. And they've got numbers forward. And it's played to Yang right hand side. He needs to deliver well. And it's defended by Romans. Celtic have got themselves another corner. And their fans are right up for this now over on the far side.
Do you know what? If you're Danny Rowe, you've got to be thinking about changes now. They're losing the midfield. Immediately the changes that were made by Martin O'Neill in the second half have adapted to this match completely. There's real belief, there's real energy. Rangers are looking a little bit tired in there. Maybe the time for someone like Diamande to come on.
Yeah, he changed the game at Celtic Park, didn't he, when he came on? Really got a hold of the midfield for Rangers as Tierney prepares to take the corner here from the right-hand side. 2-1 his side trail. In it comes. The in-swinger, up goes Fernandez, beats Murray to it. It's not clear though. Scott Olsen helps it out of the penalty area. McGregor will be first to it. Knocks it back into the centre circle for Araujo. He steps away from Mikey Moore out to Tinekti, right-hand side. He glances up, sends it in. It's a good-looking ball. Maida with a header straight at Jack Butland. That's another chance. He had time to measure that header, but he could only put it straight into the gloves of the Rangers goalkeeper. And after 62 minutes, it remains Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Yeah, he's got it on target. He's got a bit of power, and he is backpedaling, so he's not going to get too much power on it. He's got to put it back to where it's come from. But another very decent chance for Celtic. And again, you put Maeda up there. His movements change things as well. It's asked a couple of questions to the two centre backs, who in the first half, well, they had the centre forward in their back pocket. Not the case with this man Maeda.
Butland sends it forwards over Naderi. Murray wins it. Romans though helps it on. Chermiti's on the chase here. Scales sends it out of the penalty area. Celtic trying to get it clear but failing to do so. Chermiti will pick up left hand side. Is there another moment of magic coming from him on the search for a hat-trick? It's Raskan now back to Chukwani left hand side. 62.5 on the clock. 2-1 Rangers. Very much on a knife edge once more this game after Rangers completely in charge of the first period. Celtic have come out a much better side in this second half. Here's Sterling though for Rangers. Right hand side for Scott Olsen. In off the flank to Chukwani. Chukwani back to Suter on the halfway line. Plays it square to Fernandez. Takes a touch away from Nugren, then nudges it back to John Suter. Suter tries to clip it out to the right hand side, but he's miscued it and it's out of play for a Celtic throw in midway inside their own half left hand side. To be taken by Kieran Tierney, and here comes the change, and you guys have called it. It's Mo Diamande, and he's going to come on for Ryan Naderi, and that's going to mean a tactical switch as well as a personnel switch here, Andy Halliday.
Yeah, certainly in the second half, Celtic have looked as if they've outnumbered Rangers in the middle of the pitch there. You even see for that period of pressure that Rangers had. Fernandez, Suter were looking up into that midfield area, and Celtic were matched up against Raskin and Chukwani, so there was no outball for them. Ends up tries to force one out wide and puts it out. So it'll be interesting to see the position he takes up. He was the one that was deployed to man mark Cal McGregor on a couple of firm occasions last year. So it'll be interesting what position he takes within this midfield.
Oh, he'll do that. He'll definitely do that, no doubt. But the only surprise at Diamande there, I thought he might have made that change 4 or 5 minutes earlier because it was that obvious. And he could have lost a goal in that period. Almost did with Maeda. So I think Danny Rose finally made the right decision.
64 on the clock. Rangers 2, Celtic 1. You listen to BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live coming up after this on Sportsound on Radio Scotland. You've got Off the Ball, and then 5 Live listeners will tune into Premier League Sunday with 4 big games in the English top flight to look forward to. Man United Crystal Palace, live commentary of that at 2 o'clock, and then at 4:30 we've got Arsenal Chelsea live as well for you. Some massive games on this Sunday afternoon, not least this one here at Ibrox, where Rangers lead by 2-1. A game both sides desperately want to win, arguably need to win for their title hopes. The ball's back with Jack Butland, he's closed down by Maida, gets the ball cleared to the halfway line. Tierney wins the header, Hatate on the stretch, Raskan's there ahead of him, that'll be a free kick for Rangers as Hatate just brings him to the ground. Raskan just in front of the Celtic midfielder there, and he just asks for a moment or two before Hatate tries to pull him up to his feet.
Alistair, one wee tactical change there again. The ball goes back to Butland there. In the first half, he had all the time in the world to go and calmly play it out. He wasn't being closed down. You don't get that with Maeda now. He will chase anything down. Butland had to play it long, and Rangers will put under a little bit of pressure there, and they'll lose the ball that a little bit more often because Maeda's just doing that. He might not get the ball, but he'll get the possession back because they have to play it long too often.
Just a few yards inside the Celtic half, Mikey Moore preparing to take this free kick, central area. Rangers got plenty bodies forwards, up to the edge of the box, the free kick goes. Suter challenging for it, it'll break back to Diamondi at the edge of the box, doesn't get a hold of it, comes back to him on the left foot. It's a poor effort, miles over the top from Diamondi. Maybe give him the benefit of the doubt, he's just on the field of play, a little bit rusty, perhaps not up to the speed of the game, but a couple of poor efforts from him. 66 in, Rangers 2, Celtic 1. Forward comes Celtic down that right hand side. Ball's knocked out of play, it'll be a Celtic throw-in, but certainly a good deal more nervousness inside Ibrox with the home fans who were hugely enjoying the way their side were playing in the first period. But Celtic have pegged them back and have upped their game, and Rangers need to do likewise to regain the ascendancy in this match.
You know, you're talking about the changes, you know, energy levels, but the almost arrogance, confidence, cockiness of that Rangers team in the first half, it's not disappeared completely, but it's nowhere near the level it was in the first.
Fernandes plays it forward, but McGregor's there before Diamondi. Now Nugent for Hatate, slack touch from him allows Raskan to step in. The ball forward from Diamondi though is really overhit. Mikey Moore looks at him wondering what he was thinking there, all the way through to Sinisalo, and Celtic start again. It's Nugent for Hatate and now McGregor into Murray, about 10 yards inside the Celtic half, brings it up across the halfway line now. Tunekti wants it on this left hand side, instead it goes out to the right to Yang, midway inside the Rangers half now, back to Murray and then square for Scales. Will bring it out to the left to Tunekti, still about midway inside that Rangers half. Loose ball back from Tunekti between his two defenders, but Murray will collect before Chermiti can get there. We're at the halfway point of the second period. Celtic have come back in the second period to reduce the deficit. It's 2-1 now, Rangers. 2 Yusuf Chermiti goals in that first half. Had them in command, but Kieran Tierney's first Old Firm goal has made a huge difference to the complexion of this game. It's going to be a Rangers throw-in. Kieran Tierney's trying to call the referee's bluff there. Tierney just looking at the Celtic bench there and wincing somewhat. Not sure if he's feeling something. Marcelo Sarachi would be the obvious option to replace him should that be required.
The difference in Celtic's energy levels off the ball in this second half has been night and day to the first half. Just seen 3 great examples over the last 2 minutes of hounding Rangers in possession, making Rangers give up possession within 30 seconds. I think attacks played a big part in that.
Here's Murray, Moore from the left hand side, Raskan out to Diamondi, back to Chukwani. Rangers fans want Rangers to play with more urgency again. It's Romans out to Diamondi, left hand side. Now, well advanced area onto the right foot, sends it in, away by Murray. It'll be picked up by Chukwani. Left hand side as he plays it into Fernandes on the halfway line, just entices Celtic forward before rolling it all the way back to Jack Butland. Romans is playing very high and he wins the header there from Butland's clearance, but no takers for the knockdown. He's not happy, the Belgian, and Celtic pick up possession. Played 69 minutes, Rangers 2, Celtic 1, but Rangers no longer have the stranglehold in the game that they had in the first half as Araujo feeds it forward for Yang, who takes it brilliantly on the chest, feeds it forward for Nugren on the edge of the box, right hand side in for Hatate over the top, Another big chance for Celtic. It came to Rio Hatate right on the 18-yard line, and he scoops it high over the crossbar when he really should be hitting the target. 69.5 played. Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
You know, he's capable of scoring from there, and again he should get it on target. But once again, looking at those Rangers players, I asked the question after about 25 minutes, can they keep this level, this pace, this energy up for 90? Well, I've watched them do it before. Well, they're not doing it just now, Rangers, are they? There's a lot of tired-looking Rangers players out there. So it's definitely time, I would suggest, that if you can make a change, it can liven it up a bit and give you a bit more energy. If you're Danny Rose just now, you're the one that's got the questions you need to ask.
Sirachi's just been given the call. I think he is going to replace Tierney here as Hatate feeds it forward here for Maida. Maida brings it under control, couldn't quite take it in his stride, but he does have possession, and now it's Tunekte just outside the Rangers area on the left-hand side, plays it back for Tierney. Tierney scoops it into the area. Nugent gets the header in, but it's wide of target under pressure from Fernandes. But if you do feel at this stage, if anyone's going to get the next goal, it does feel like Celtic.
It is, and it's Hatate again picking up the loose ball, and Celtic are just doing exactly what Rangers done in the first half. Any chance to get, they're playing forward, they're running forward, out of possession, they're getting close to people, they're making contact. And that, man, we talked about Celtic not winning duels, not winning loose balls, not making tackles. It's Rio Hatate again. There's been a lot of chat about him and his performance over the last few weeks. He's the one that's onto the loose ball again, plays it in behind. It's another dangerous attack for Celtic.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably had the poorest season since he came to the club, and he set very high standards in his previous seasons here. It's definitely not been meeting them for the most part this season, but he's certainly come on and made a difference in the second half. And here he is playing it forward again, looking for Yang. Romans is first to it, plays it off Yang. It's going to break though and stay in play, and Butland has to rush out to the edge of his box and knock it out of play on the far side as Sirachi waits to come on and replace his fellow left full back Kieran Tierney, the man who has brought Celtic to within one goal of Rangers with about 18.5 to play of the 90. Throwing Celtic over on the far side, midway inside the Rangers half. It's Araujo preparing to take it. Is there a further twist or turn to come in this game? You suspect there probably will be. Celtic have given it up though. It's Chukwani bringing it forward now for Rangers across the halfway line, invites the challenge from McGregor. Still it's Chukwani powering down the left, then McGregor gets his foot in, and it will be a throw in to Rangers over on the far side, and that should allow Celtic to make not one but two changes, as Luke McCowan, who was so impressive with that early goal out in Stuttgart, and also generally his performance was very good. It's going to be a double change as Celtic look to try and drag themselves back onto level terms before the afternoon is out.
Just before they make those changes there, very noticeable Chukwani, who was bestriding this game. He was so much more physical, stronger than anyone else out there. He's just had a great run up the line there. I think that's just about finished. He looks exhausted to me. Let's see if we can get that back.
Raskan with a loose pass, looking for Scholes, and Rangers are definitely not quite as on it as they were, as the changes now I think are going to come for Celtic. The Rangers fans try to rouse their team once more as Tierney makes his way off, having contributed hugely with the goal that's brought his side back into the game. Yang is the other player who's going to be replaced by McCowan for the closing 17 minutes plus stoppage time. As on comes McCowan, whose first minute goal gave Celtic the victory out in Germany, the first ever victory on German soil. It was all ultimately for nothing, as Gassama, now Jedi Gassama is coming on for Andreas Skol-Olsen, who again, well, he set up the first goal, Andy, let's be fair to him, but I'm not sure he quite had the impact that the Rangers fans have been hoping that he's going to provide.
No, I thought in the first half, Rangers to a man were excellent, but he was probably the quieter of the front four especially. But then, since the second half came, I think you can see he's one that's tired more than most. And I think Rangers had to make a change somewhere. You know, you've seen Celtic make two changes there. I thought Rangers were going to be the one that they make the next change, but they've replied with Gassama coming on that right hand side.
Well, Jedi Gassama certainly a little bit like Sebastian Tunekte, perhaps has made his best contributions off the bench for Rangers. As the ball's back with Sinisalo, 16 minutes to play. Rangers 2, Celtic 1, live on BBC Radio Scotland and BBC 5 Live. As Sirachi gets his first touch of the ball in the left back position, plays it back to Sinisalo. Quickly out to Dean Murray at the edge of the box. Back Salo once more as Rangers look to press Celtic again. Scales on the edge of his own penalty area. Across comes Chermiti. Scales plays it forward. Good challenge from Sterling on Tunekti. Chermiti lays it off for Gassama here, right hand side. Angle of the box. Scales on the back foot. Gassama tries to force it across goal. McGregor did well to get back into a good position and cut the danger out. And now Celtic come forward. It's end to end just at the moment. It's Nygren with a quarter of an hour to go. Chukwani struggling to keep pace with him as Pat says he might be out on his feet. It's back with Nygren at the edge of the box. Challenge from Chukwani. Penalised right on the edge of the box. And Celtic get the free kick. With Chukwani absolutely exhausted there. Looked like he got a bit of the ball there, but the referee deciding he took the man as well. And it will be a free kick to Celtic right on the edge of the 18-yard box. And a wonderful position here. And big chances for Celtic to find the equaliser.
Yeah, to be honest, if you go to ground there and you take a bit of the player, the referee almost always gives a free kick there. But Chukwani, he's given everything he's got there, but that was a very, very tired challenge there.
It's not too dissimilar to the position where Nygren scored that free kick at Tynecastle against Hearts. He sees his eyes have lit up that he's got this opportunity from roughly 20-21 yards out. Again, it's mental how the momentum shift in this game. You know, it looks as if Rangers were going to create a good chance down that right hand side, and within the matter of seconds, Celtic turned the ball over. They're attacking Rangers' box and a free kick in a real dangerous area.
Nygren's just taking the ball 2 yards further back from where the free kick was to give him a chance to get the ball up and down again.
Yeah, interesting. So just right of centre. Benji Nygren looking to line a couple of Celtic players up just in front of the Rangers wall. Callum McGregor and Rio Hatate are there. Hatate's kneeling down, McGregor standing up. Now he crouches, Nygren straight into the wall and cleared by Diamondi. Rangers fans urge their team forward. 14 to play. Still they lead by 2-1, but they've been, well, as much as Celtic were second best in the first half, Rangers have probably been second best in the second period. And here they come again. It's Celtic into the box. Hatate spins. Can he get the shot off? Sterling steps in. Gassama picks up, still inside his own area. Trying to get it clear here. And eventually just whacks it up towards the halfway line. But Rangers have got no bodies up there. Chermiti's stretch off here. They're toiling here as Butland will collect that ball at the near post as Sirachi tried to bend it in looking for Maida. No joy on that occasion. 13 to play. The game is very much in the melting pot. Still Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Well, whatever happens in this game, Martin O'Neill has to do one thing more than anything else: get his team starting games. You know, it's not good enough to keep on coming the last half an hour, 10, 15 minutes, the last 2 minutes. You need to control games. Exhaustion, it doesn't always work. They're leaving it late again, but they've still got a chance.
Here's Scales bringing the ball out. Gassama goes to close him down eventually. Plays it into Maida. Maida out to the left-hand side for Sirachi. Sirachi feeds it forward. Sterling in the way. Picked up by McGregor. Celtic getting all the loose balls, all the second balls now as Tunekti steps in off the left. Away from Sterling. Away from Gassama. Finds Nygren. It's Tunekti once more. Chance here on the right-hand side. It's McCowan. Saved by Jack Butland. What a chance again for Celtic. A wonderful move from the left to the right. And Luke McCowan denied by Jack Butland. It's all Celtic at the moment. 78 played. It's still Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Do you know what? It's a fantastic move for Celtic. And again, Tunekti and Rio Hatate heavily involved. The Rangers are trying to get close, they're trying to make contact, but Celtic with great combination play to work it for the left to the right hand side. But I did think, was there an opportunity for Luke McCowan to try and lift it or even turn it back?
No, he's got to lift it towards the back post. You're keeping it low, the keeper's always going to get to it there, and he didn't catch it clean either.
Here comes Celtic again. It's Tunekti from Nygren. Tunekti goes down under the challenge there of John Souttar, and that is a yellow card all day long for the Rangers defender. And Rangers having huge conversations at the back. John Souttar trying to urge the players to play with their heads. They need to get back in control of this game as far as he's concerned, but Celtic sweeping forward at every turn here, and they've got another free kick. This one just about 10 yards in from the left touchline and about 10 yards outside the penalty area as well, but another opportunity to try and test the Rangers backline. Jack Butland's by far been the busier keeper in the second half, having been a virtual spectator in the first. Very much a game of two halves as Nygren prepares to swing it in from the left hand side. Left footed, and it comes to the back post. The header's won by Dave Murray, but it's over the top. Celtic go close again, but not close enough as far as they're concerned. They still need a second goal at the very least. with just over 10 to play of the 90. Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Well, the noise you can hear is a barometer of what these fans are feeling just now. There is real fear, they know that they're second best just now, Rangers. All the Rangers players are looking over to the managers as if to say, well, what do we do now? What do we do now? You got to get together as a unit, as a team. The belief has just seeped away from these Rangers fans. And now those Rangers fans are trying to lift the post.
Butland with a goal kick then. 10 to play. Rangers leading by 2-1. Chermiti's been pretty anonymous in the second half, and he can't get to that, but he will latch on here. Just hooks it over his shoulder for Diamonde to take over down the right hand side. He's into the penalty area. Across the penalty area comes and doesn't quite fall for Chermiti. McGregor's there again to tidy up and find Araujo inside his own box, and now Araujo brings it forward down that right flank. Slips it forward, but Maida can't get there, and Fernandes picks up for Rangers, who are just trying to take the sting out of the game as much as anything else at the moment. Butland, first time, over a halfway line, but straight to Scales. Maida was offside, so can't go for it. It's all the way back through to Butland, who surely will just take a few seconds here before rolling it out to Fernandes to his left. Fernandes approached by Nugent. It'll go back to Butland. Butland first time, scoops it high in the air. It's not a good clearance. McCowan beaten to it though by Romans, but it'll come for Hattati in the middle of the park. McCowan again beaten to it, and now Chermiti picks up. It's Gassama on the halfway line, threads it forward. He's looking for Raskan. Murray was in the way. Celtic have it once more in the midfields. McCowan clips it forward, looking for Maida. Suter's given that straight to Nugent. Nugent slips it to his left. It's Tenekti. This is a chance for the leveller. Good defending from Sterling. Good strength to see it out of play. It'll be a Rangers goal kick, and Dujon Sterling stepping up to the plate there when Rangers needed him most. And it will be a goal kick, Rangers. And with just under 9 to play, it's still a narrow advantage Rangers have. They lead by 2-1.
Rangers have to stop passing the ball back to Jack Butland when they're unopposed at centre half. All they're doing is inviting that pressure to Celtic's front three. It's forcing Jack Butland to kick long, and unlike the first half, it's now Celtic that are picking up all the loose balls, and don't make no mistake about it, Rangers are on the ropes here.
Well, we talk about playing the ball back to them. The entirety of the first half, I can hardly remember Rangers playing a backward pass. Everything was forward, and everything was forward with pace. Now the only forward balls are the ones that are happening right now. A big lump up the park.
Murray wins the long ball, heads it forwards. Moore though, and then Chermiti out to the left hand side. It's Chukwani, left hand side of the area, stands up in the middle. Sarachi's there, and it's behind for a Rangers corner at last. Rangers threaten once more. It's been such a long time since they've been up this end of the park, but they've got themselves a corner with 8 to play, and surely if they were able to get a third now, it would take the game beyond Celtic, as good as they've been in this second half.
They need a good delivery here. I think it's Rangers' 4th or 5th corner potentially, and all the previous ones haven't been great in terms of delivery, and that's where Rangers have been so good in these scenarios, not only scoring goals for set pieces, but 9 times out of 10 the delivery's bang on the money. Can Mikey Moore get this one right?
Mikey Moore from the left then, right footed, plays it short to Gassama, back to Mikey Moore now on the angle of the box, swings it in. It's a decent ball, but Murray's first two, it's a good header. Tenekti kind of pulls out of the challenge, but eventually takes up possession, and now it's Sarachi coming forward, looks for Maida over the top. Mikey Moore's furthest back there, and he makes an important intervention there to get it back to his goalkeeper on the stretch, but manages to direct it back to Butland, who clears poorly, and Hattati picks up on the halfway line. Dreadful pass, but then another one by Sarachi there, and now it's Raskan, looks up. Can he find a runner here? It's Gassama who makes the run. He's goal side of Sarachi, into the penalty area he comes, and he just plays it off Murray, and it'll be another Rangers corner, this time right hand side. Oh, it's really end to end right now, and it's still anyone's game really, but Rangers, despite having been on the back foot in this second half, still hold the 2-1 advantage.
So open now, isn't it? It's incredible how open. A lot of space and a lot of tired players out there, and that's when good technical players usually make their presence felt.
The surprising thing though, Pat, is that Rangers can't allow it to be open. No, they're the team that's got that slender lead, but you know, anytime they're attacking, they're still committing loads of bodies forward, but as soon as they lose possession, I mean, Celtic are just springing into attack, and Rangers got away with one there because Luke McKibben was in acres of space over that far side.
That switches on all the time. You've pointed out 3 or 4 times already.
to Romans, has come across to the right hand side to take this corner. John Beaton's already indicated he'll be adding on the extra time that Rangers are taking to take the set pieces, and it comes from Romans into the 6-yard box. A bit of havoc in there caused by Fernandes, but it's cleared by Benji Nugren, picked up by Sterling, the only player deep for Rangers, as he sends it back in looking for Romans. It's over his head and out behind for a goal kick to Celtic. We've got just over 5 to play as Celtic prepare to make one last change. James Forrest, their veteran winger, is going to get the call, and he's going to replace Nugren for the closing few minutes as Celtic look to get themselves level. Well, a point is clearly better than nothing from this game, and if they could earn it from 2 goals down, it would still feel like a bit of a victory. Rangers looking to cling on for the 3 points that would take them back to within 4 of the leaders' Hearts. At that point they would have just 9 matches left to play. Here is Forrest into the last 5 minutes plus added on time. Forrest for Araujo, right hand side, midway inside the Rangers half. Back it comes to McGregor. In Celtic fashion, at least one more opportunity to earn themselves that equaliser. Scales out to Tenekti, left hand side. Back comes Gassama to try and track him. Tenekti drops his shoulder, plays it infield to McCowan. McCowan well challenged by Gassama. He's still got it though. Back to Sirachi it comes, and he goes back to the halfway line. Looks like McCowan was just caught there maybe by a flailing arm from Gassama. Play continues. It's McGregor in the middle of the park. No one closing him down just yet. Now it's Hatate. Back to Araujo. Plays it square for Scales. Midway inside the Rangers half. Out to the left for Tenekti. Rangers again slow to close down. Tenekti plays it into the box. Away by Chukwani. McGregor picks up though on the edge of the area. Hatate for Araujo. About 25 from goal. Out to Forrest on the angle of the box right hand side. Can he find a cross? Chukwani has let him go by him. And it comes. Maida's there. Oh, how's that stayed out? Jack Butland, did he make the save there to deny him? That's a tremendous save. If that is indeed what happened, as Jack Butland just got in the way. Maida from point blank range. Here comes Celtic again, as the referees asked him to take the throw in again as a delay. Has he seen something? Has he seen something? Maybe some handball in there? Well, it wasn't clear to me at all what happened as Maida got the header in, but I could only guess that Jack Butland got his self in the way. But there is a check for a possible handball in there, and this could be further drama in the last few minutes at Ibrox. I thought Butland did brilliantly just to almost Schmeichel, the other Schmeichel, his dad's way, just made himself big. The big star jump there. I mean, the ball was beautifully played in there by, I think, Forrest came down the line. Maeda gets a great header on it. I couldn't see a lot wrong with it.
I don't know if it's when Dujon Sterling comes in to try and impact Maeda's header. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're suggest it flicks off his arm.
Oh, and he's going to have a look.
I wish if he's going to the monitor.
Oh dear.
You know what this means?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great news for Celtic, bad news for Rangers, because John Beaton is coming across to the monitor to have a look at a possible handball here, and inevitably, more often than not,
so hard to see. We've seen a couple of angles of it now. Here's the best angle. Do you know what? Well, I still can't tell. I've seen 4 angles, can't tell you.
There's a suggestion that Sterling's outstretched arm,
his left arm, his trailing arm, takes the ball and it's going towards the goal. And if that stopped it getting in the goal, even though it's completely undeliberate, this could be given.
Yeah, well, John Beaton's having a good long look at it. It's a massive decision. VAR, I think, suggesting that they cannot be definitive about this decision, so that's a difficult one to get round. John Beaton.
What a moment. What a moment for the referee. Well, he's given him plenty of time, and I do not blame him.
He's going to get stick one way or the other here, isn't he? On he comes. What is the decision here? He makes the TV screen and points to the spot. It's a Celtic penalty. In the dying moments here at Ibrox Stadium, Celtic have a chance to pull themselves back from 2 goals down. Well, it's a massive moment in this game as Celtic have the opportunity to come level at 2-2. And Jack Butland's got a terrific penalty record. He saved all 4 that he's faced this season, and 7 of his last 8, in fact. Can he keep that statistic strong here this afternoon. We're into the final minute of the 90. There will be a considerable amount of added on time now as a result of this VAR check.
It's worth underlining, we've seen a lot of angles of it now. There is definitely no deliberate movement of the arm. There's a yellow card given out.
I think that's Raskin.
Yeah, but the header was almost certainly going on target. It's hit his arm and it's possibly stopped to get into the goal. I don't think you can argue much. That's got to be given as a penalty kick.
It's going to be Rio Hatate to step up and take this. He has had a positive impact in the game. Now can he finish with a flourish? And there might yet be time for a winner for either side if this goes in. Who knows? Looks like there's going to be 5 minutes added on once this penalty is taken. That's the board says as Rio Hatate steps up, preparing to try and beat Jack Butland from the spot. Butland just behind his line. Now he crouches. Butland behind the line here. It's an interesting approach. Up comes Hatate, right footed. Saved! The rebound! Saved as well! But it's forced in! Celtic have the equaliser! At the third time of asking, Hatate denied twice, but eventually Celtic force it home, and they are level in stoppage time. Once again, it's the late show from Celtic, and from 2 goals down, it is Rangers 2, Celtic 2.
Rangers are complaining of potential encroachment into the penalty area, but I'm sure it's Rio Hatate that gets onto the rebound. I mean, Jack Butland must be sick. He saves the penalty, he makes an incredible rebound save, and Rio Hatate gets a third chance at it to knock it in the box. Rangers players have got to be following in for the edge of the box to stop that from potentially happening. I know Jack Butland, he's done all he can, but take nothing away. I think Rio Hatate has been Antonecki, it's got to be said, they've been game changers for Celtic, and I think that all the momentum was Celtic's way going into the second half, and they've got the rewards for the penalty spot with Rio Hatate, goals given.
Yeah, it's 2-2, and I think Rio Hatate did get the final touch there. 6th goal of the season for him, and Rangers will be absolutely furious with themselves the way they have thrown away a 2-goal lead for Celtic. It will feel like almost a win for them, a moral victory. There's still time though for further drama. Celtic have been by far the better side in the second half. Can they force a winner? Bodies hitting the deck at the edge of the Celtic area, and John Beaton just tells everyone to get on with it as Diamonde and Callum McGregor pick themselves up. It's Fernandes at the back for Rangers, plays it square to Suter. Can Rangers revive themselves and find the winner as Gassama goes down under the challenge from Sirachi, and Rangers will have the free kick right on the touchline here, right hand side, midway inside the Celtic half.
I'll tell you, one group that will be cheering just now. Celtic fans are happy, but Hearts fans are probably delighted at this point in time. They don't want any more goals.
Oh, 100%. This would leave Rangers 6 points behind Hearts and Celtic 8, albeit with a game in hand. But it would give Hearts a huge boost in their quest for a first title since 1960. But Rangers have a free kick here on the right hand side to be taken by Mikey Moore. Is there another final twist here? The first header is cleared by Forrest. Back into the edge of the area by Sterling. Hatate with a clearance this time. Now McCowan picks up, well challenged though by Diamonde out to the left hand side. He's shot with the pass. Araujo steps in, but Diamonde has it back. Chukwani once more, cleared by Hatate. We've played 3 minutes of the time added on as Martin O'Neill on his 74th birthday is right at the edge of his technical area, as is Danny Rowley's opposite number. 2-2 it stands, a couple of minutes of injury time to play. Suter stayed up there, nods it down, it's Raskin, can he get the shot off here? He goes for goal, comes off the midriff of Dane Murray. You'll hear the howls for a penalty from the Rangers fans, but it didn't look like there was any handball involved there as Celtic get it out for a throw-in on this near side.
Suter and Fernandes are staying up front. Rangers need to be careful here, because again, when Celtic put the ball, if Celtic pick up the loose ball at the edge of the box, I mean, Rangers have just come out all bodies forward.
Looking for that winning goal as Diamond is closed down. He's knocked it out of play, and Maida gets the decision there. It's going to be 6 minutes, I think, in the end added on of extra time, injury time here at Ibrox Stadium. That means there's a couple of minutes left to play. It's 2-2 live here on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live, and this game has not let us down as Fernandez lashes it forward. Mikey Moore's on the chase. Sinisalo right to the edge of the box, grabs it before the Rangers winger can get there and bowls it out to Araujo. Celtic feel that they might be yet able to win this, coming from 2 down, which would be quite incredible. It's out of play over on the far side though. Rangers throw in midway inside their own half. Araujo trying to slow things down as Rangers trying to get it back into play. 90 seconds remaining of stoppage time. Back it goes to Fernandez. Fernandez sends it forward looking for Gassama. Sirachi with his eye on it, heads it down, but it'll be picked up by Sterling. Sterling takes a touch out to the right hand side, tracked by Tenekti. Sterling goes down, he's taken down by Tenekti, says the assistant referee, who's a yard or two away from it, and Rangers will have a free kick in a good position, right hand side, just a few yards away from the touchline. It's quickly taken into Moore. Now it's Diamondi into the back post. Raskan tries the hitch kick. Who's it going to fall to? Chermiti's in there, and both sides claiming for something, and in the end the referee points in Celtic's favour. I think it's going to be a goal kick simply, and after 95 and a half minutes it's Rangers 2, Celtic 2.
Absolutely shocked the Rangers took that quickly. You know, they've got a chance to get everyone in the box, set it up. It's a brilliant position to put it across, and they didn't get the best cross out. They took it quickly, it wasn't thought out, slightly too panicked, and the chance was lost.
Sinisalo, I think it's a free kick that was awarded in the end. He takes that long. It's over Maida. Suter gets the head to it. McGregor with the thigh. It's picked up by Romans forward. Chermiti can't get there ahead of Murray. Helped forward by Diamondi. Moore can't get there. Chermiti forward once more. Araujo tries to help it forward. Down go McCowan and Diamondi. It's picked up by Fernandez. But it's full time at Ibrox. What a game this has been. And the spoils are shared in the end between these two great rivals, and it doesn't really help either of their title causes. Hearts the big winners today, you would have to say. The Celtic fans certainly the more triumphant there on the far side as they celebrate having come from 2 goals down. Bit of a coming together in the middle of the park between the two sets of players. Nothing too untidy, it has to be said, at this juncture. Plenty of emotions. Now Araujo's shoved, and now it's getting a little bit more tousy and emotional. But well, this game was in Rangers' hands. The first half was hugely dominated by them. 2 top-class goals from Youssef Chermiti had them massively in command at half-time. But Celtic came roaring out the traps in the second half. Got a goal back from Kieran Tierney after 57 minutes before the drama in stoppage time when Dujon Sterling was penalised after a VAR review for a handball. And up stepped Rio Hatate, who saw his penalty saved by Jack Butland, who saw the rebound saved by Jack Butland, but at the third time of asking, it was slid into the back of the net to end a quite incredible game with a scoreline at 2 apiece. And Pat Nevin, as I say, it's a fixture that rarely disappoints, and it certainly didn't today.
It's extraordinary today. I mean, I wouldn't say you could not see it changing at half-time, because we have seen, you know, the classic games of 2 halves, but Celtic was so far second best in that first half. Rangers played so superbly well. They had so many opportunities to make it 3, which almost certainly would have killed it off, but they didn't kill it off. Martin O'Neill made a couple of changes, and those changes made a massive difference in the second half. And the one thing you will say about this Celtic team, it doesn't matter where they are, they don't give up. And near the end of games, since Martin O'Neill's been back, they have been unstoppable. Usually last-minute winners. On this occasion, a last-minute equaliser, which keeps them just about in the title race, as does it keep Rangers in the title race. But we all know now, half of Edinburgh will be celebrating right now.
Andy Halliday, does feel like a massive 2 points drop for Rangers, doesn't it?
It does. I said at the top of the show, I didn't think that a point was particularly good for either side. I think on the balance of play, I think a point's probably a fair result. I thought Rangers completely dominated the first 45 minutes, played forward, played with loads of energy, and I think it was completely roles reversed in the second half. I just wonder, is there an element of frustration from Danny Rooney's staff that it almost felt like Rangers tried to hold on to what they had in the second half instead of trying to continue what was working ever so successfully for them in the first half, and Celtic just gathered momentum for the full time. And you've got to say, I thought Martin O'Neill's half-time changes played a huge part in the result. I thought Sebastian Tenecki was excellent when he came on, and Rio Hatate, for me, picked a great game to play his best 45 minutes for Celtic this season, because I thought he was the one player that managed to get his foot on the ball for Celtic. But something that you don't really associate with Rio Hatate was win loose balls, win his duels, a bit of composure to regain the ball for Celtic. And I think in the end, obviously they managed to get that equalising point. But you said it, Alistair, and I'm going to back you up, the real winners for today is certainly Heart and Midlothian.
Absolutely. Rangers trooping off in disconsolate fashion. It does feel like they have dropped 2 points. The Celtic players far more bubbly as they made their way off, having hauled themselves off the canvas to earn themselves a point at Ibrox. It finishes here. Rangers 2, Celtic 2.
The Old Firm Derby.
Live on Sports Sound.
Look again!
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Six Nations.
18 and a half minutes of this game left to play, and it's now in the melting pot. It's still with the Scots. It's still with the Scots. It's up and over. Scotland have the bonus point score. They'll take the lead in the contest.
After a spirited second-half fight-back earned a win against Wales, Scotland's hopes of Six Nations glory are still alive. Scotland versus France, live from Murrayfield in the Six Nations Championship. Listen Saturday afternoon from 1:30 on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and Sounds. We're ready to go.
An absolutely incredible game at Ibrox Stadium. Rangers utterly dominant in the first half. 2-0 up and looking like cruising towards what would have been 3 massive points. They offered very little, you've got to say, in the second half. Celtic so much better. They dominated, maybe not just quite to the same extent as Rangers had in the first half, but they certainly did enough. Tierney got the goal back, and then that late drama. Jack Butland, it's a phenomenal record that he's had this season. He's saved penalties from Lawrence Shanklin, from Hyun-Ju Oh, the former Celtic player who was then with Genk. He's saved from Jamie McGrath, he's saved from Marcus Fraser. He's now saved from Hatate, and he also saved the rebound, but he couldn't prevent the second rebound from being forced in. Rio Hatate with his 6th of the season. 2-2 draw. Afters on the pitch, and there may be a few issues for some of those players. There may have been some cards being issued. The referee might take further action, I guess. There was certainly one pretty blatant push by Mikey Moore on Araujo, but there were plenty of other players who were involved there, and eventually at one stage Martin O'Neill on the pitch trying to act as peacemaker was doing. The substitute goalkeeper was on. Two of Romans was certainly heavily involved, but pretty much all the players involved. It might be that it's all just settled down and there's no further action taken, but it would be no surprise to hear that something has happened there. What it does mean, as Pat Nevin pointed out in commentary, it is a magnificent result for Heart of Midlothian. As things stand, Heart 63 points, Rangers 57, Celtic with a game in hand 55, Motherwell with a game in hand on 53. Celtic play Aberdeen at Pittodrie on Wednesday night. Motherwell play Dundee at Dens Park next Saturday. If, and it's still a big if those two sides win their matches, their games in hand, it'll be Hearts 63, Celtic 58, Rangers 57 and Motherwell 56. And at that point it absolutely would begin to feel like this could genuinely be a 4-horse title race. There's still that feeling that there's maybe just a wee bit too much for Motherwell to do, but gosh, who knows? The way they've been playing, if they get the win, if Celtic get the win, it's just going to, look, either way, it's going to be crazy for the last couple of months of the season, but certainly if these two win, wow, absolutely astonishing conclusion to the Premiership campaign for 25-26. A 2-2 draw, Pat Bonner, given how you were at half-time, yep. I think you probably take that, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and Celtic, I think in the second half they should have won it. They had almost put down three big chances, and Tonecki's chance and down the left-hand side was great defending from Sterling, and a 1v1 situation almost inside the 6-yard box, and of course then the 2 goals. So they could have went on and won the game in the second half. I just could not see it when I witnessed the first half. Obviously Martin O'Neill must have used some of the words we used at half-time. to say that they were out-fought, out-muscled and outplayed, and they obviously responded to that, but the big response was putting those couple of players on at half-time, and you know, we've been talking about Hatate, how disappointing he has been at times this season. Today in the second half, he stood up. He became the player.
It's more like the player we've seen for the last few years.
Absolutely, and the big difference in that, and when you compare that to the first half, every time that Kieran Tierney got a ball in the left back position, Chamberlain was almost, Alex Chambers, he was almost running down away from the ball. He was never coming to the ball to give him an option. So the ball then would go back almost to Liam Scales again, and then circle it out the other side. In the second half, they were playing balls into Hatate, who was coming and changing the play, but it was higher up the pitch, and it was really, really good to see. And then, of course, around the edge of the box, he had that ability on the ball. I thought he was sensational in the second half, and he changed the game. Now, Rangers were outnumbered in the midfield for that period until Diamondi came on. Even then, when they matched up, Celtic still dominated in later on in the game, and I don't think Rangers had a chance in the second half, did they?
No.
Yeah, I wrote nothing down, and in the first half, Celtic didn't really have a chance. So it was a game of two halves, but it was an absorbing game. It was a sensational game, I've got to say. You know, for both sets of fans, you were tearing your hair out as a Celtic fan in the first half. Second half, you were on the edge of your seat, and Rangers were pulling their hair out. It was quite incredible the way the game flipped, absolutely, at half time. But I thought it was a really, really, really good game. But the big winners, Hearts, of course.
well, yeah, well, look, we'll talk an awful lot more about that. Tom English, little time to reflect right now, and you'll certainly take some time to compose the words for the website, but I mean, just wow. Absolutely astonishing.
Wow is right. Might have to come up with more words other than wow, but wow is probably as good as a word as I can think of right now. It was a brilliant game. Half-time, Rangers absolutely on top, playing with all the confidence in the world, and then it flips. It completely flips, and Martin O'Neill, fair play to him, he makes substitutions that make all the difference, and all of a sudden now Rangers are kind of defending their way to victory, you know, and Celtic have nothing to lose at this point. They have to kind of go for it, and they went for it in a very effective way. They created a lot of chances, scored 2 goals. Of course, we had to have the 90th minute drama again, of course, because it wouldn't be Celtic if there wasn't something happening late on, and they get out of jail again. But really, like, it's no good to either of them, really. A point, it'll feel great for Celtic right now, because they were staring down the barrel of really their title race being on the cusp of being over. It's still not in a good place, but they've managed to salvage a point from a game where they could have. I mean, at half time I'm thinking this could go 3 or 4. And now it's 2-2 and it's over and they've a point apiece. And from Edinburgh, I'm convinced I can hear the sound of laughter and cheers and Derek McInnes whooping and hollering, because this is a dream result for them as well. And it's wow, this season it never stops, does it? It's just relentless drama.
No matter what we say about, you know, Hearts being that, you know, well in front at this moment in time, this is not over. There'll be so many twists and turns yet in the last 9 games of this season, and I can't wait until the split comes, because all those teams at the top are capable of taking points of each other. You don't really know what way it's going to go.
Yeah, you have to. You know, you look at Rangers at 2, and you have to wonder, okay, what happened in the second 45? What happened to you? And conversely, if Celtic, you're going to say, what happened to you in the first half? You know, it's just, and it kind of sums up where these teams are at. They are imperfect teams. They have really good spells within them, but they've also got these kind of ruinous spells within them as well. They're not on an even keel, either of them.
In the last 6 league games, Rangers, they've had a 5-1 win against Kilmarnock, a 4-2 win against Hearts, which clearly was a huge result. They've also had 4 draws, Tom. And while there's been so much positivity, it's a lot of points shipped in the last half dozen games.
Yeah, they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. It's and that's kind of perfect for Hearts. Hearts are going along nicely, and Hearts, like, I mean, and we know we're talking about Celtic and Rangers and Celtic here, but you can't ignore the Hearts dimension or the Motherwell dimension. Hearts have got Lawrence Shanklin and Cammy Devlin coming back soon, which is going to give them more impetus. So it's against teams that are really, really struggling. These Glasgow teams are really struggling. At half-time, I thought, okay, wow, Rangers, this is the best I've seen Rangers play in an awfully long time. They looked utterly brilliant. And it's almost a shame in a way that the Chermiti overhead kick, it's not going to bring 3 points. But a second half, Celtic, for all their faults, and wow, they have so many faults, they dug in. They really dug in, and I think they fed off Rangers getting nervous, getting a bit antsy, maybe trying to defend their lead, losing that lovely edge that they had in the first half, losing that lovely belief that they had in that first half, and they got done by the penalty. And it's
and they could have been done for more, because there was big chances there for Celtic.
There were. Yeah, Luke McCowan had a really good chance. I don't think that there could be any great complaint about the penalty. I can understand the guys in the commentary. Very difficult to see exactly what happened there. But the cross came in from Forrest Miney with a header, and ultimately it looks as if Butland's made a great save, but it has come off the outstretched left arm of Sterling. It's perhaps taken a couple of views before you actually see it, but I think it's fair to say it did.
Was it going into the net at that point, Richard?
It was certainly wasn't going away from goal.
No.
It was going on target. Whether Butland would have saved it in any case, I suppose, but that's not something that VAR and the referee take into account. They simply take into account, was it on target? And it was. So I think it had to be a penalty. Pat, you will feel for Butland. I mean, his efforts this season, 5 straight penalty saves. He saves the rebound.
You know, I watched him.
Get the next one.
I watched him setting up for the penalty. He stands about half a yard
inside the goal.
Beyond the goal line. That gives him, and it gets his timing right, that gives him huge momentum when he steps out, if you know what I mean, Richard. His momentum is able to take him right into the corner, and if he goes the right way, then he's got that momentum to go and make the save. I just watched it. I see other goalkeepers standing on the line and they don't get the same momentum, but that's his technique, and that seems to help him. I don't know, obviously he's going the right way for every single ball, so he's reading the situation well, and whether that's homework that they do and so on and so forth. I was never comfortable actually when Hattati going up to take it. I was saying to Andy here, this could be over the bar, really. But listen, Hattati deserved his goal in the second half because he was really good, and to stay with it, even when the rebound came back, he went again and he got that final touch to put it in the back of that. You know, all the good things we've said about Rangers in the first half, and then in Celtic, all the good things we said about Celtic, but the frailties are wide open to see from both teams. Rangers couldn't handle the second half. Celtic couldn't handle the first half. Incredible.
Celtic clearly deserve, Andy, an awful lot of credit for what they did in that second half. But wow, Rangers are going to look at that as a massive opportunity thrown away, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I think Martin O'Neill deserves a lot of credit. I think he's made in-game changes for Celtic that have changed the dynamic of fixtures. You look at Kilmarnock when he makes the three changes at half-time for 2-0 down, they come back and win the game 3-2. We expected him to make changes at half-time today, given how poor Celtic were in the first half. He makes 2, and the 2 of them I thought were Celtic's best players on the day. Never mind just the second half. I think the full 90 minutes across board, I thought Taneke was lively throughout. I think any time he came inside the pitch, he was looking to play penetrating passes, he was combining with strikers. And then Rio Hattati, I mean, there's been so much chat about Rio Hattati, and rightly so, because the drop off in form for what you've seen for Rio Hattati over the last 2-3 seasons at Celtic compared to this season, it has been night and day. But for me, in that 45-minute spell, it was that player that was composed for Celtic, but it was that player that was getting onto loose balls that I felt that Raskin and Chutwani were winning all day long in the first half. But I do think there was a sense of Rangers trying to hold on to what they got. I don't think they tried to put Celtic under enough pressure, and I think a lot of that came from, you know, Pat mentioned at half-time how forceful Rangers were in terms of playing forward and running forward and making Celtic defend. I honestly lost count the amount of times that Fernandes was unopposed and turned it and passed it back to Jack Butland. And what did Daisen Maeda do? He does what he always does. He presses it, he makes it difficult, and he forces Jack Butland to go long. And from there, it was time after time after time again, it was Celtic are picking up the first and second balls.
Yeah, and that gave them the platform, didn't it, to just gather momentum. I suppose it was important they got that Tierney goal fairly early in the second half, and from that point onwards it was pretty much all Celtic, wasn't it?
It was, and it was actually, I think Rangers had 2 or 3 occasions to try and clear the ball, and they didn't get enough height and distance on it. I think the last one was Ryan Nadiri, and Celtic then pick up the loose ball again. But take nothing away for the play for Celtic down that left hand side, and when the ball finds I think it's Benjamin Negrin at the edge of the box, you just expect him to take a touch and shot, and I think the Rangers players expect him to take a touch and shot. But what he does is he dinks a lovely ball into the back post, and it's Kieran Tierney of all people that's at the back post over on the right hand side to just nod the ball down. And I mean, not just for what you've seen on the pitch, but for the stadium, for the stands, it was just a complete momentum shifter for Celtic. And then from there on in, you always felt like it was going to be Celtic that was going to get the next goal if the next goal came. Luke McKeown has a huge chance. I think Rio Hatate and Benjamin Negrin have shots for outside the box. And then sure enough, it comes late again. It's been the late show for Celtic for the last couple of months, and this, you just don't know how important that goal's going to be for so many teams, you know.
Well, exactly,
for
absolutely.
Hearts, for Rangers, for Celtic, potentially Motherwell try to chase down the pack up there. And this most incredible Scottish top flight season takes another major twist in the 90th minute at Ibrox.
Martin O'Neill is live with Carradine.
Well, Martin, we are just catching our own breaths here after that. I wonder how the Celtic manager reflects on that match and the performance from your team.
Well, it was obviously a great game. We were well and truly second best first half for almost all of it. They got off to a great start. It's a goal in the first few minutes of the game, keeps the crowd going. Then they get the second goal, which is not great play by us, however. And, you know, it was a long way back at half-time. But they have shown, this side has shown a great determination, got down and got it played. And other than the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half, the game belonged to us. The second half belonged to us. And we got the equaliser, which we thoroughly deserved.
I guess there's 2 ways of looking at it: a managerial masterstroke with the substitutions, or wrong team picked in the first place. Which way do you look at it?
Well, you absolutely. I think if you're 2-0 down at half time, I think you have to question yourself. And I spend my life questioning myself, to tell you the truth. But anyway, we pulled it round in the second half. Great effort, absolutely fantastic effort by the players. They've shown great spirit, I must admit, during my time here, probably long before that as well too. And it was that spirit and determination that kept us going and saw us through at the end. And we had some really good chances even before the equaliser to actually get our noses in front.
Absolutely. I was going to use those 2 words, you know, the spirit and the determination. I mean, we saw all of that in your first spell 20 odd years ago. It has been back again here, and that was key for you today.
Well, that's nice of you to say so, yeah. Coming here, it's a difficult task. I know it is, and particularly if you're chasing the game as we were. But I get down to the sort of spirit. I mean, going back to those days, the side were very, very strong, physically very strong as well too. Could compete European level and could compete obviously domestically. The side wouldn't have the same sort of physicality about it, but it's they do not lack heart.
The guys that came on for you at half-time, Tunetke and Hatate, were, I think, particularly good. Would you agree?
Yeah, I absolutely agree, yeah. So maybe getting back to your very point, maybe wrong selection in the first place. Easy to say that, but they had a big influence in the game. It was great. And Hatate finally puts the ball in the net after about 3rd or 4th or 5th attempt. I'm not exactly sure, but in the scheme of things, you know, you might think 2 points dropped at half-time. It's certainly a point gained, and in the end, you know, maybe I might revert to the first thoughts.
Yeah, I wonder if at half-time you and maybe your supporters were thinking, well, it's just not going to happen for this title chase. But now I just wonder how much sort of a new lease of life that gives you for the games that are coming up.
Yeah, it certainly helps, absolutely helps, you know, to fight back at Ibrox from a 2-0 deficit to come back and probably could and should have won the game. That does give you enormous... what shall I say, enormous ambition to want to go and drive on as much as anything else. We've got another difficult game. I have to go to Aberdeen on Wednesday. Again, that was one that's fitted in here, but we'll try and rest up and try and get going for that. But we're still giving ourselves a chance here in this title race.
It is some title race, isn't it? Maybe Hearts the big winners today?
You would have thought so, yeah. If you were in Hearts' position, you would have thought a draw is a very, very good result for two teams chasing, and Motherwell far from out of it themselves.
And we've seen from the performances from your side that Celtic won't give up in a 90 minutes. You'll therefore obviously not be giving up your title, and there's many twists and turns to come, including a big cup game back here next weekend.
I'll have time to think about that there, maybe after maybe Thursday morning or Friday morning or something like that. Yeah, we come back here again, and just tribute to the supporters. They kept us going in the whole second half, kept us going during the game. I'm sure they were disappointed with our performance in the first half, but hopefully they might be elated by what they saw in the second half.
Martin, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Martin O'Neill, yeah, I mean, he's not even close to thinking about that cup tie quite yet, but just a reminder for all of us, we've got this to come again next Sunday. It is going to be some weekend, and it will of course be live right across the BBC, on the telly and the radio. Pat Nevin, the Martin O'Neill, admitting there, yeah, look, I had to be questioning myself as to whether I got that team right when you're 2-0 down and you've been largely outplayed at half-time. He's wise enough to acknowledge that might have been the case, but he certainly rectified it in the second, didn't he?
He did. I would step back from that a little bit. He has to say that, to some degree. But I would say Rangers, with the pace that they played at in the first half, it was extraordinary. And said during the commentary a couple of times, if they can keep this pace up, they're amazed. But then watched them do it against Hearts just a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, well, maybe they can. No, they couldn't. Absolutely no, they couldn't. And Celtic had to wait for that to drop off. Had Rangers kept on playing at that pace the way they did in the first half, Rangers do win this game. Celtic couldn't have lived with them. And that is maybe the thing, the style that Danny Rose got with that team just now. 100 miles an hour, as much as you possibly can. Good skills involved in it as well, and get your game wrapped up as early as possible. But if you don't get it wrapped up, honestly, the amount of exhausted looking Rangers players at the end of that game there, whereas Celtic looked lively and did Martin O'Neill get it wrong? Well, maybe with one or two little things, but I don't think he got it completely and utterly wrong. I think the Rangers were just very good. Maybe the one thing, I think it was the last thing I said to you before the start of the game, Richard, was that I wasn't convinced it was the right game to start Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yes.
And to be fair, I think that was pretty much borne out. And again, underline, it's not because he's a bad player, he's incapable. Knowing what this was going to be like, it's not what you want to walk into, because you're not going to get the ball down, you're not going to get your head up, you're going to get chased, there's going to be madness surrounding you all the time, and also add on top of that all the mania that's surrounding him with the fans, etc. So it didn't surprise me that he had a tough game and it kind of passed him by. I'm not writing him off at all, but that was maybe the one surprise and I know Hatate's not had a great season so far in comparison to others, but that was the one that surprised me. But Martin spots it, changes it, and changes it in time.
And he talked a lot there, Pat Bonner, about the spirits and determination, this will to win, this refusal ever to give up. I think back to your time at Celtic Park, and I remember the centenary season where there just seemed to be late goals almost every other week. And I mean, it's been a mark of Celtic throughout, not just under Martin O'Neill. It's just a remarkable thing that they keep doing. I'll get your thoughts on that in a moment or two, because Danny Roll is now live with Carradine.
Well, Danny, what a game of football. I wonder whether you might have mixed emotions.
Yeah, you're right. I think at the moment the feeling is more disappointed because you dropped 2 points after 2-0 lead. I think we played a perfect game, 50 minutes, even after the halftime, the first 5-6 minutes we were on front foot. We tried everything that was outstanding, but a game, it's not about 50 minutes, it's about longer. I think all the things what we did really well. We had a high intensity in the pressing. We played really nice football. We find our spaces, what we want. That was great. And then in the second half, we were not clinical in possession. We made some wrong decisions. Then we lose the ball. We give them a little bit of momentum. Then they score early in the second half, and then they have nothing to lose. It's 2-1. They tried everything. Then we had not the right moments for the pressing. We were a little bit stretched, not compact enough. But this is football. I think this is then a team will try something and they have nothing to lose. Finally, it's a draw. We can speak about the pen or not the pen. It's always then a little bit lucky for a team to get a late pen. This is normal, I would say the same when we get a pen late in the game. But it's about the next game and we have to move on.
You must have been delighted with the quality of some of your play, particularly in the first half, and the first couple of goals, from Chimiti were excellent.
In general, I think the whole team made a fantastic performance. 50 minutes, but at the end we couldn't win this game, and then it takes more the negative side of football, the disappointment. But this is about us now. We go again, we prepare them. We have one more week. We have to speak about the game, and then we'll try next week in the cup game again, a good performance, and hopefully we can keep our performance then over 90 minutes.
Yeah, did that first half performance, does that set a new bar, a new level for Rangers? I'm trying to remember if I've seen Rangers play better than that in those 45 minutes under you.
It was. We increase our limit, our level. I think it was, again, this level what we want to play over 90 minutes again and again against a team who's still a good team. Next level should be then that we can do it longer and longer to take 3 points. I think first half everything was on, nice goals, great atmosphere, team to deliver on the pitch. But finally, I think all of us, all of our Rangers will go home now and will say, we are more sad and disappointed and not proud of the first half.
At the end, it looked like a great save from Jack Butland at the end, and then the VAR review, and it looks like it comes from Sterling's hand. Any complaints about that decision?
I think there's a VAR. If they make the decision, I think it's always tough late on in such a game to make such a decision. I think there is a header from, I don't know how big is the distance, 10 centimeter or something like this. I think you cannot really react. For me, it's not about this pen. It's, I think, general. Last week there was a big foul on us very late in the game, and there was no consequence. Today there's a consequence against us. But we should play over 90 minutes. A good game, then we'll have not this problem.
The gap to the league leaders is now 6 points. Mm-hmm. How confident are you that you can catch them? You can still win this title?
Yeah, if you want today, the winner's Hearts, but there's still 9 games to go, and this is 27 points. I think all games now will be tough for all the teams, and this is the reason why we move forward. We go again, and we believe until the end. And I think I said this many times. This season, the decision-making will be on the last match day.
Absolutely, a lot of people agree with that. Just one final one. You now have a full week to prepare for Celtic again here at Ibrox for a place in the Scottish Cup semi-finals. Yeah, we have to. I think we take the things from this game out. We will speak about the positive things, but we have to speak, of course, about the second half, why we lost our control in both directions, and then we prepare the team, and then we go again, and then we believe we can do it better over 90 minutes, and we want to come in the next round of the Cup. Danny, we